Give me a second. Give me a second. We're gonna hang on here for a second because I got new background music for us to mess around with today, if y'all are good with that. I just been in the mood for one game in particular. Give me a second. I gotta say, chat, this image makes me hold on. I'm getting my shit around here. Give me a second. Sorry. I'm so fucking late, dude. I'm so late. I literally I just finished the Shining Wizard stream avatar. Huh? What? What now? What did you finish? I'm late for being early. I guess I am. The Little Pony Town thing. You did not. You did not. No, nah. No, you didn't just do that right when I came in. Did you forget? Melody, everything moves so quick for me these days. I'm sorry. I literally forgot that I sent you a fucking PNG. I literally forgot. No, chat. I do in fact need to answer Doom Slayer's question. Give me just a second. Chat. It's a new day! Yes, it is! Whoa, holy shit. What? Oh, no. Whoa! Hello. Hold on.
Hello, Mario.
Okay. Hold on. I'll try that again. Try it again.
Hello, Mario.
It's a new day! Yes, it is! Hi, everyone. Hi. My name is Shirafasev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we are doing something a little cool. 2K24, now you got my attention. All right, well, I'll play this music, and let me know if I have your attention now. This game has just been on the mind lately. Best Zelda game. Okay, but listen, now I want to have a little accessory where I have like Link's cap on me. I want to have a little Link cap on me. I'm a ride or die ruthless aggression guy through and through. I am a ride or die good wrestling guy. Yo, long boy, question. I may have an answer. Also, who all is in here from Agent Toad? Rocky Ramos or Rocky. Is it Rocky Ramos, or is it like Rocky Ramos? What time tomorrow for us? 9 or 10 p.m. EST, bud. Oh yeah, that's right. Me and Toad are doing a thing tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to be doing a little Pikmin 2 thing on stream. We're going to be playing
Hello, Mario.
We're going to be playing the game in co-op, as in we're not going to be playing like, you know, the battle maps. We're actually going to be playing the campaign of Pikmin 2 together. Pikmin is one of my favorite series, by the way. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry.
Hello, Mario.
Oh.
You're talking about finishing stories. Tonight, a story begins.
You know what? That's the smartest thing you've ever said, Homunculus, because in fact, we are starting a story tonight, and it's the story of a man that we may all know very well, and if you don't, then you will soon. Rocky, thank you very much for following, my friend. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. I appreciate you being here, dude. We're gonna have a friggin' phenomenal time tonight as we begin. We've been planning for this for months, but schedules never been
Hello,
lining
Mario.
up. It's Mr. Giraffe-Stev! Giraffe-Stev. What's up? What's up, DJ? We're gonna go over to the chatting screen here in just a second, but first I need to make sure that something is like up for y'all to see. Oh wait, no. There already is something up there for y'all to see. This is awesome. It's about to get even more awesome. Watch this. Bam! There he is. There he is, the hero. The hero of our story, chat. That right there, if you were not here last week, we created this guy right here. This right here is Shining Wizard. He is the 2K24 version of my Pony
Hello,
OC.
Mario.
This right here is, of course, Shining Wizard. He's the Pony OC that I made during my birthday last year, and we have taken him and turned him into a real guy. We turned him into a real guy, and he's gonna go all the way to the championship, everybody. We don't care how long the road is. We don't care how long it takes. We don't care who we have to face. It can be Roman Reigns or Eric Bischoff. It doesn't fucking matter, especially Eric Bischoff. I want to kick Eric Bischoff's teeth in as Shining Wizard, in fact. It doesn't matter who we have to face. We are taking the gold. And we will join the ranks of Gira, Henry the Cat, and JavaCrypt. We will become one of the greats.
I could take him down.
You know what? You may be eating crow by the time this playthrough's over, Homunculus.
Hello,
You haven't
Mario.
seen an action yet. I can join you for a little bit. I won't be staying for long. That's all right, then. I just appreciate you being here. I appreciate everyone being here so far, by the way. It seems like we already got, like, quite a few people here, in fact. I'm so pumped for this. I'm pumped for it, too. But, chat, before we get into the thick of it, I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you guys. I will say, I'm still a little hyped from last week. Last week was absolutely crazy. It's not gonna happen again.
See if you can
Hold
throw
on.
a giant gold ring around a long boy's neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step on up. Come on. Let's go. Hurry.
Ah, you suck,
Missed.
Agent Toad.
Or maybe you didn't.
Oh, fuck you. I love it. I appreciate you. Yes, Homunculus? Homunculus! Homunculus!
Spare serotonin, please.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna run this back. Give me a second. Homunculus! Homunculus! What you doing, man? Hold on.
Ara.
Yeah, see? Oh, I think I broke him. He's gone silent. Is there like a character limit to him that I set? That's impossible. Give me a second. Oh boy, we're off to a rip-roaring start here, everybody. Give me a second. Alright, who put the mute button on the homunculus? Apparently, Rey Mysterio and John Cena. What?
For life.
Well, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it, DJ. I appreciate it. Give me a second. I'm gonna take your thing here, Munch, Mr. Rocky, and I'm going to put that in. Homunculus won't speak about wrestling anymore. He only speaks about Cheetos. He only speaks about what kind of artery clogging snacks you'll give him next. Give me just a second. What?
Cheetos. Cheetos. Chi.
That's his brain. What the fuck?
Give me Cheetos.
Listen, I'm trying to make you talk about wrestling, but you won't do it. Die, Rocky, die, which also means the Rocky, the. Very accurate. That, you know what? That's the most trutest character he's ever been. No, read your thing. Ray and Cena were my favorite wrestlers growing up.
Wrestling is old news, buddy. I'll wrestle you for some Cheetos.
Hello,
For
Mario.
some Cheetos? Are you sure? Are you sure you don't need, like, you know, a garden salad or something? I'm thinking that all the Cheetos is great. Chat, what are Cheetos? Is it like a Cheeto pizza? Is it like Cheeto mozzarella sticks? No. You know what it is? It's Cheeto cereal. It's like
I have invented a new snack.
You gave a new idea to like General Mills. That's like their Cheetos. Okay, hold on. I'm actually gonna read Rocky's thing now. Ray and Cena were my favorite wrestlers growing up. I had the best of both worlds in that one. There's a reason why after
By God,
12
Mago,
years I came back
tonight's
to the game
show
series.
promises to be one etched in the record books. Slobber knockers galore.
That's the game series since SmackDown vs. Raw 2011. That's how long of a fan I've been since 2003. I've been a fan since at least 2010. Did you know Chester the Cheetah has his own 6-inch posable? Dude, my brain is in such a place right now that I thought you were going somewhere completely different with that. I'm so glad you didn't. Posable action figure with interchangeable head and hands. That does not surprise me at all, actually. I thought you were going somewhere completely different with that. Jesus Christ. You had me so scared. You had me so scared, dude.
Evil 2 is definitely the devil of a game.
It's in fact time for a Gitsy
With
break. I need to take a
exquisite
swig of
full
my
motion video.
G
Violent
Fuel.
full motion video. Make that very violent full motion video.
I got
Complete
the
with shots
I
to
got the
head and
PewDiePie
seizure-induced
flavor,
corpses.
which is the best one.
Resident Evil 2 has the same gameplay as the original. In that respect, the game's a disappointment, but no one, including
yeah,
us,
giraffe
will
fuel.
be able to resist this game.
Giraffes
The goal
are
is not
fueled
to
by
be broad,
PewDiePie.
at least not
Evidently.
for us. It's the suspense, the eerie music, the awesome full motion video. We really get
Let's look at
annoyed from
art.
having to shoot a zombie 10 times before it's actually dead. This kind of ridiculous crap really slows down the game, and we're forced to suffer this unrealistic gimmick every time we find a zombie. And that happens a
Chad,
lot.
he's so cute!
In fact, you usually find
He's so
zombies hanging
cute,
together in
Chad!
huge crowds, making the
He's
job
so
even more
cute!
difficult.
I need to
People
show
like to say
you.
how scary
I
Resident
need to
Evil
show
2
you
is.
him.
We haven't
He's
felt
very
it yet,
pixelated,
but we
but
haven't
he's
played
so
the game alone
cute.
in the dark.
He's
That's
so
probably
cute.
the best way to play.
Ooh.
Resident Evil 2, on the whole, is an excellent game that no one should be without. It's no
Oh, I
Tomb
love
Raider,
him so
but we
much.
shouldn't expect it to be either.
DOS
Resident Evil 2 does a
Longboy
great
has
job at capturing
nasty
the horror moods
thoughts.
like no other game ever made. The controls still have that
The G Fuel
watch
flavor
where
for
you're going, I
PewDiePie
overshot
doesn't
the
even
doorway
have
feel.
like
But
a
by now,
fun
everyone's
name.
used to
Like
this style
it's
of control, so we're
it's
giving it a
supposed to
generous
be
C.
like
Everything
Lingonberry,
else gets an A.
but it's not even
Resident Evil 2
called like
completely
PewDiePie's
customized.
Lingonberry or Berry Pie or something like that, right? Which like Berry Pie sounds like a pony name, but you know, either way, it's just called PewDiePie. So like you're drinking PewDiePie when you have this Ligma berry. Just 7 days till the biggest bass spectacle, sports entertainment, wrestling, WrestleMania XL. Yes. I'm gonna be one of those fans. This will be a slobber knocker from start to finish. I am looking forward to that. By the way, chat, speaking of WrestleMania, we're doing that in the server. We're doing that in the Discord server next weekend. Next weekend we will be having a watch along of both nights of WrestleMania on April 7th. No, April 6th.
Hello, Mario.
Maxwell, what the fuck? Maxwell with the Long Boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. Thank you so much for bringing your community on over here, my friend. Hopefully you are having.
And Team Line TBH here.
Ow. For those of you who are unaware, my name's Giraffe. I'm the president. Steph,
Hello,
you won your
Mario.
match tonight. I did.
Hello, Mario.
I did. Who's gonna pay our checks now? Well, listen.
Hello,
you can pay the
Mario.
checks. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Okay. Hi, my name's Giraffe.
Hello, Mario.
President of Longboy Club, large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations.
Hello, Mario.
And my stinky cat. Tonight, we are gonna be playing WWE 2K24. That's what we're playing tonight, and we are playing with my character here. It is Shining Wizard. He's based off of my pony OC, who's also named Shining Wizard. I hope you all enjoyed the Hello Mario. I hope you all enjoyed the Hello Mario there. But yeah, that's what we're doing tonight. We're gonna be starting the MyRise for this. Thank you very much, Maxwell, for raiding in. I really need to like get like I need to get like more mods in here, chat. I need to get like more mods. I need to get like more mods in here in order to I gotta introduce. Aw, hi Hanwee. Mod me. You know what, Max? I've talked to you. I feel like I can trust you to be a mod, actually. Are you actually serious? Are you actually like serious about that? Because I will. I will if you are serious. Yeah, I can mod for you. Thank you. Common Maxwell W. Alright, guys, introducing our newest mod, Maxwell Flyweights. Wait, no, this one. Let's go! Woo!
For life.
Hi. Hopefully everyone's doing well tonight. But no, before we dive, let's go, Maxwell. Let's go, Maxwell.
Step on up and see if you can throw a giant
God is throwing a ring at me. Let's see if he can get it.
boy's neck, ladies and gentlemen. Step on up. Come on. Let's go.
Oh, you suck, God.
Oh, you missed.
This is why I'm not religious. No.
You owe me $10 either way.
This is awesome. Is Maxwell better than us and they know it? I mean, Max. I'm not gonna play the heel tonight if you want.
Hello, Mario.
Holy shit, giraffe rigged. I'm saving that. I'm saving that shit. I'm saving that shit for later on. That's awesome. If we ever have like a game in server, or if we like fucking like have a game on stream and like you guys are losing, you need to like type in giraffe rigged. Where is Big Kev? Big Kev should be here. Ow! I want to make new redeems for this, but I don't have time.
I salute my fallen enemy.
Sent home from work early, time for a nice cozy step stream. Let's go! But no, chat. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for fucking raiding on in here once again. Max, if you do need to raid and run, if you need to go and piss, if you need to go eat, that's fine. And saying to all the raiders, and saying to all the raiders, but if you guys stick around, you're gonna be in for a fun time tonight because once again, we are gonna be doing the MyRise mode, or at least we're gonna be starting it here with my character, Shining Wizard. But first, I gotta ask the question, chat, and it's a question that I know is like on the lips of all gamers out there, right? Like if you're a gamer,
Hello, Mario.
if you're a gamer, you're gonna know this. Came in with the raid, gonna lurk and support before I go to bed. I hope you're having a great stream, my friend. And I hope that you have a good sleep, Soulstone. Thank you very much. It's not very often that I get to see you here in chat, and you know, obviously that's fine. I know you're busy. but I appreciate you being here anyways. We don't like words on gamers' lips, Stev. You're right, that's usually bad news. Well, let's just say, you know, words on the lips of people who have a passing interest in electronic entertainment. And that question is, of course, why is this $80? Why is this $80, chat? I literally went like game shopping today, right? Like I went to like my local game store. That's funnily enough not GameStop. We actually do have like a local resale store that like sells a whole bunch of different media, whether it be DVDs or, you know, like instruments, oddly enough, or video games. And this is one of them. This right here is $80. Castlevania double pack on the Game Boy Advance. Henny is a pro, and that was the best answer you could get, sadly. No, it is. Like Henny's response to this on Twitter, it was quite literally the best one. It is, in fact, 2 game on Nostalgia Machine, make mine go burr. This is literally just it. Like, my friend Nelson here, bless his heart, he actually gave me, like, you know, a real answer as to why they're so expensive. But, like, listen, back in 2006, maybe this would be fine. Well, actually, no, it wouldn't be fine. It's a Game Boy Advance game. That's not fine. But let's pretend it is. Let's pretend that it is for... Oh, shit. But, like, let's pretend that it is for a second, right? Let's pretend it is for a second. In 2024, that's not it, dude. That is not it. It's not it, chat. It's not it at all. And then, like, literally, like, not even 5 feet to my left, you had, like, the Godzilla game on PS4, which, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, don't people, like, not really like that game? Wasn't that just kind of bad? Hold on. Godzilla PS4. This right here. This guy right here. This guy right here was literally 5 feet away from me. $200, chat. $200 for this on PS4. And you know, like, admittedly, it's been a while since I've given a fuck about, like, collecting games, right? It's admittedly been a while since I've given, like, a fuck about collecting games. But, like, that makes no sense to me, right? Dokapon Kingdom for the Wii was like that until the re-release on Switch and PC. Well, like, both games on this cart, they're available on Switch right now for like 20 bucks. And along with that, you also get Circle of the Moon. So, like, yeah, $200 redos for Godzilla on PS4. And now a disclaimer from GameStop Corporate. We are crooks. This has been a disclaimer from GameStop Corporate. Well, like, this wasn't even GameStop. This was like my locally owned game store, right? And I'm just kind of shocked that, like, people are paying for this, right? I don't know, like call me a boomer, right? Call me a boomer, but personally, I just don't really see why you would spend that kind of money on a game in 2024, right? Like, especially with how much games, like, try to gouge you these days, right? I don't know why you would spend it just for, I don't know why you would spend $200 on just the game. Like, this doesn't even come with anything. Like the copy I found at my game store, it didn't even come with anything besides the game. I don't know. I'll admit, I've not been about that life in a good few years. And yeah, for a standard edition of Godzilla on PS4, I think the reason why it was so expensive is because you can no longer get it digitally, and it obviously left print years and years ago, right? So like the only way that you can play this now is if you buy it physically. Which on one level I can get that, but $200 is just straight gouging, right? Like that's nothing except the game. I just don't really like, I don't know. I personally would not spend that kind of money on any game in 2024. Don't forget the biggest scam, graded games. Graded games? Hold on. Oh, these things. The ones in like these factory seal type things. Oh yeah, that shit's a scam. That shit right there is the biggest scam. I realize, like, you know, I'm probably pissing off a bunch of, like, you know, old school gamers or something, or rather, like, you know, me saying that would probably piss off somebody. It was basically found to be money laundering. Was it? Oh, we're such suckers, dude. I understand with something like the 40 years of WrestleMania edition of 2K24, which is also $200. I would not. Dude, you don't get anything with that. You just... Do you know what you get with the $200 edition of 2K24? You get to not play the showcase mode. That's like part of it. I do not think any game on its own should... I don't think any game should be $200 fucking dollars. You know? Much less a yearly sports game. And like this is coming from someone who, like, you know, enjoys the 2K games, right? You will not catch me dead in the ground paying $200 for 1 year of that. You won't catch me. You will catch the long boy in the fucking ground before that. Anyways, I gotta run an ad.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Robble's on after this. I need to drink. What sucks about extra editions of games is you don't know if the game is good before you drop the extra cash. Exactly. That's like getting into a whole other like realm entirely. I guess for me, it's just like, especially in 2024, I just don't really see the appeal of game collecting as much anymore, right? I just don't really see that appeal anymore. Because, like, everything is just so fucking expensive, right? Everything is so expensive these days. Regardless of whether or not it's old, or if it's new, or even if it's mid-tier sometimes. Gaming is so fucking expensive these days, dude. It's partly why my tastes haven't really grown beyond Fortnite in recent years. Because even though Fortnite is a free-to-play game, it's free to play. You know? I can play that for free. Whereas, like, with a lot of these... Listen, I understand the irony of me saying this. Amber with the long boys, girls, NVs, and Asies, thank you very much for bringing your lovely community on over here. For those
Hello,
of you who are
Mario.
unaware, my name is Shrafisev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we have 3 raids and listen... Chat. God damn it.
Hello, Mario.
Hi, Retro Fire Gamer. Thank
Hello,
you. You're now a
Mario.
member of the Long Boy Club for life. I really appreciate it. God. I got a lot of...
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. I don't... Chat, how do I even begin the stream at this point? I guess we begin it like this. I want to try to do something with that redeem. These haven't been 2K streams. These are just raid streams. Yeah, exactly. This right here is like... This right here is a Giraffistev is forced... It's a Giraffistev is forced to feel the love variety hour. Whether he wants to or not. Here's my welcome to the Raiders. Melody, I love how you've taken the Gitsy.
Final Doom from Williams is a game that chews you up and spits you out. Like any Doom game, Final Doom is invincible, indestructible, impossible, impenetrable. We're going to try to be clever for the rest of this review. Don't have a cow once you figure out what we're saying.
Don't have a
Final
cow,
Doom is just more
chat.
of the same old Doom shoot-'em-up action
Listen to
that
him.
has spawned countless
Listen to him
clones
go.
in the video game industry. The same Doom enemies that inhabited all the other Doom games of this Doom series are also in this Doom game. Doom it, we're sick of all these Doom bloody
No, they
games
should play
with more
when-
Doom gunshots in
they should
1
play
minute
when it's-
than we would otherwise hear in a lifetime.
Yeah, they play
We're
when they're
sick of all the
active.
Doom groans of the dead demons and the people you must shoot in the game.
Let me talk to you. Slap it to a
These
Slim
games make
Jim.
you Doom crazy,
Get
especially
savage.
since they're so
Yeah.
Doom hard.
Slap it to
Normally,
a Slim
challenge is
Jim.
good,
Oh,
but not
yeah.
in this Doom game.
I did not hear it.
Hardcore Doomers will be in Doom Nirvana.
It's
The game's
hardcore
actually
Doomers,
three games in
chat.
one. Master levels
Oh.
from the internet, Plutonia, and TNT.
Oh, you know-
all are extremely difficult.
Oh, you know
Even
what's...
the instruction
Okay,
booklet is a
okay.
password that
Okay,
gives you all of
okay,
the
I understand
game's
what's
weapons.
happening,
But
chat.
even with that
I understand
booklet,
what's
you will
happening.
fail miserably.
Okay,
Don't worry,
Doomer.
we're not going to Doom
It's
Williams,
so
but let's just say
powerful.
it's time to put this series to rest. Of course, we may
Are you
end
a
up beating Crow
hardcore
once
Doomer,
Doom
chat?
64 comes out, and I mean Doom as in Doom in that instance. If you think that all these Dooms are bad, wait till you find out what
Okay,
BFG
now it should
stands
work.
for. The BFG 9000 is the biggest gun in the game. If Williams sees
think
this
so.
segment, they will either A, laugh at all the Dooms, B, put us on their to-Doom list,
Why the fuck
C,
did I pin that?
Doom us to Hades, or D, not do one Doom thing.
Are you a bad enough Doomer to save the president? I like my Doom brutal. The ultimate goal has been decided. Sponsorship by Slim Jim. Fuck Slim Jim, dude. I hate them. I don't want them in my space. I don't want them anywhere near me. You know? Hold on. Where the fuck is... Huh? Hold the fucking phone. Give me a second. Give me a second, chat. I gotta do something here. But you have a Slim Jim sign for Shining Wizard, I believe. I do, yes. I do have a Slim Jim sign for him. Hi, Henry. Hi, Henry. What do you want? Hopefully you want MyRise, because that's what we're about to do. This is gonna have copyright footage? You bet it does!
Before a superstar. Before
This is probably gonna get me fucking blicked, but let's see.
Before a championship victory,
If it is, I'll just cut this out of the VOD.
a jaw-dropping turn.
Why are you booing me?
step into something.
Look at that dork.
Whether it's proving to the doubters,
He has absolutely no clue who Shining Wizard is.
Or proving to yourself that you know who you are and where you belong.
Don't boo him, shaking my head.
But to finish the story, you have to begin.
and make it your own.
Look at all these boring CAWs. Exactly. Look at that. Lame. 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 Lame.
Because this
Lame. 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 Lame.
Your story.
At least this time Hulk Hogan and Steve Austin's faces aren't awkwardly pasted on their bodies this time. That right there is quite honestly the worst thing about AI I've ever seen. Are you enjoying my redeems, Amber? The one with the neck tattoo is clearly the lamest one, obviously. I know you didn't call mommy
I want
lame.
to see a Cheetos-themed championship belt.
Not a bad idea. You know what? If we end up doing the fucking, if we end up doing the 2-year celebration, wrestling show, that'll be what the winner of, like, the CIW Battle Royal, receives. They'll receive the Cheese Championship sponsored by Cheetos. Cool, refreshing sip of water. Hey, thank you. Because mommy's anything but lame. Mommy's always on top. Yeah, of this L. Oh! 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 You know I'm right! You know I'm right! You know I'm right! When compared to Shiny Wizard, everyone is subpar! Alright, between this year's 2 unique MyRise stories, Undisputed and Unleashed, there are 10 save slots available. 10! Both Undisputed and Unleashed have pivotal choices that can send you down distinct pathways with their own characters, arenas, and clothing parts to unlock. Try playing each story multiple times to experience different outcomes. God, what the heck did I just watch? You watched Funny Number. Don't forget to import characters created and create Superstar into MyRise. Hi, One Ponytail. How you doing? Yeah, you watched Funny Number. I thought that was pretty evident. All right. Here we go. So. You define your own rules, and the wrestling company you built from the ground up is the hottest promotion on the indie scene. But when given the opportunity to share your talents on the larger stage of WWE, will you unleash your full potential or hesitate and hold back? And Undisputed, Roman Reigns unexpectedly vacates his championship, ending his record-setting run and leaving the seat at the head of the WWE table empty. Will you take it and become undisputed, or fall short in your quest to step out of Roman's shadow? I gotta import him, yeah. I've got to import Shining Wizard. What the hell is this? The bump?
Welcome to the bump. And
whoa, holy shit.
Slam week in WWE history. I'm Byron Saxton.
And I'm
CGI Byron is a little,
before defending the undisputed WWE.
These guys look a little bit like skinwalkers.
Against Cody Rhodes
Not
in a
gonna lie.
brand versus brand main event at SummerSlam.
Hashtag acknowledge me.
Shocked the world and surrendered his title.
The head of the table said that he's been beating up Cody for years now, and he has nothing more to prove. Now he's taking a sabbatical in Hollywood to show his cousin, The Rock, that he will be a bigger superstar there, too.
With SummerSlam in disarray and the draft set to begin the night after, Triple H called for a one-night WWE Universal title tournament.
That's the best Undisputed. That's the best Intercontinental title right there.
GM William Regal named Cody as Raw's first entrant and said he was confident the title would be coming to Raw.
But SmackDown's brand new general manager, The Miz, didn't find this.
The Miz?
He called
The Miz.
His WWE Universal Championship to Raw nothing short of theft.
And The Miz is in it to win it for his brand. He's sending a team of killers to bring that title home.
Let's take a look.
Kayla, we know what Braun Strowman brings to a fight. AJ Styles is always a threat. If you ask me, though, KO is the man to beat in this whole tournament. He's been hungry for the opportunity. Reigns has left him here.
That sounds like he was waiting for crumbs from Roman's table, Byron. William Regal's entries are no slouches. Finn Balor was the first Universal Champion. Much of the WWE Universe believes this is Gunther's time, and Cody Rhodes has been looking to finish the story for a while now.
That last slot, though,
He's been saying he's been beating him for years, chat. Years. Plural.
In developing young superstars. Raw's GM is going to make a match on the SummerSlam.
You can never win the big one when it matters, dude.
Your guy, Kevin Owens.
I mean, I wouldn't call him my guy.
Your guy. is not going to know his opponent until the winner of that match. And
He's a fucking dog, dude. Beating like government mule and all that. If MJF ever jumps ship to WWE, I would love to see MJF declare himself the more superior model to The Miz. I mean, like, listen, dude. Wait, can I import? Hold on. Oh! Oh! Oh, I see. I see. There he is. If Roman is a better actor than Rocky, then he should have been cast as Aquaman instead of Jason Momoa. Brother. Neither Roman nor Rock were casted as as Aquaman. What was I about to say? I genuinely don't know. I forgot. Wait, do I need to sit through this cutscene again?
Welcome to the bump. And
no shot, dude. I gotta sit through this again? Oh no. Okay, well, you know,
And I'm Kayla
this right here, it gives...
less than a week before defending the
Well,
undisputed WWE Universal Championship
this is
against
a fun, this is a fun little
main
thing.
event at SummerSlam.
You can't skip cutscenes after you've seen them once.
The head of the
Yay, we can look at the IC title some more. Let's go. Gerbil Tail, thank you for following. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and just mute this for a second. I can't get see through it. No. Well, don't you want to talk with the Long Boy? Don't you want to talk with the Long Boy chat? Because I kind of want to talk to you. I may as well go ahead and do this while I have everybody's attention. Discord server. I don't think I talked about this because I couldn't finish it. But, next, let me talk to you. Yeah, on Discord, next weekend, we are going to be watching both nights of WrestleMania 40 in the server. It will be, it'll be a stage call. I'll be sharing both nights as they happen live. It's going to be a fun night. I'll be very, very, very upset if Cody doesn't win the fucking title. At that point, I'll probably be done with wrestling. Sarcasm. But yeah, come on by. Join a community of fun and like-minded wrestling fans and fucking gaming fans, especially if you're a fan of Sonic, Persona, that kind of stuff. We would fucking love to have you over there. And my socials, I may as well plug these while we're here too. I'm on everything. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Blue Sky. It is all Giraffestev. It is right there. Go and follow me on that shit, especially on YouTube. Follow me on my VOD archive channel and on my main channel. I'm making a big old video here that will hopefully be done by the end of April. And it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. I'll let you know when that goes live. But yeah, let's get into the meat of it. Roman Reigns, 1,253 days. I couldn't read that. It was too fast. I'm gonna follow you on LinkedIn. 1 sec. Awesome. Most importantly, Stev is inside your walls.
Don't blow yourself up, young man. You're apt to have a long night.
Mr. Regal.
Coming in early to help the ring crew, running the ropes while everyone else is still at the hotel. It makes an impression.
Thanks. I do my best.
Do you?
No one works harder than Shining Wizard.
What do you mean?
Do you do your best?
You punch with your left foot.
By yourself.
You sound like my old math teacher.
Well, you came to Raw more than a year ago now, and you've yet to make much of an impression. No titles, no great rivalries, a win-loss record with just enough victories to fly under the radar.
Great pep talk?
Let me finish. I see your potential. The question is, if you're ready to fulfill it.
I'm ready.
Good, because as you know, there's a tournament for the WWE Universal Championship tonight. The final slot for Raw will be decided in a match on the kickoff show. One of the combatants will be Dominic Mysterio. That young man has a future, a legacy, a name. The other competitor is you.
Thank you, sir.
BCC and WWE.
I'll bring my best.
Good man.
In order to
Seriously.
defeat Dominic Mysterio, you need to enter the ring with your left foot.
You're the long
And then you need to step forward with your right foot.
Hello, Mario.
Dark horse. Beat the odds.
Well, if Shining Wizard knows anything about anything, it's beating the odds. He defeated Hulk Hogan for the World Championship, only to be stripped of it. If anyone knows anything about beating the odds, it's Shining Wizard. He's got this. Regal is like, you're mid and Dom is good and the whole field is amazing wrestlers. The WWE Universal Championship Tournament begins on the hashtag SummerSlam Kickoff Show versus as Dominic Mysterio faces off against the dark horse of the tournament at Shining Space Wizard in a qualifying match. And Roman Reigns says, the real dark horse is at Cody Rhodes. I personally guarantee that he is not going home with my undisputed WWE Universal title tonight. All right. Yeah, I know how this works. I've been through this. All right, we got some shit here that we can read, chat. Holy, yes, I know. I done all this last year. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time at Gunther is going to add the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to his collection of at hashtag SummerSlam, hashtag Imperium. Mike the Miz. Everyone knows that the WWE Universal Championship is synonymous with my show, hashtag SmackDown. As its new awesome general manager, I guarantee you that title is staying right here. At WWE, Roman Reigns choosing to walk away less than a week before our match at hashtag SummerSlam means exactly what you think it does. The man is a coward. Remember what I said. It doesn't matter. Remember what I said. It doesn't matter what you've done up until this point. You can make your impression tonight by stepping into the ring with your light foot. By stepping into the ring with your left foot and then stepping in front with your right foot. Give it your best shot, and there's no telling how far you'll walk across that ring. with your light foot. That's what we call a light kick in the business, pal. Shining Wizard took on the Great Nagli multiple times and won. The Great Khali, lol. Wait, what do you mean by the Great Nagli? Is that like a horse thing? Starts dancing like a chimney sweep. Step in time. Who the hell is Tony Skimpin? The Great Nagli. What? Hold on. I'm looking this up. I'm not good at turns of phrase, chat. A horse that is especially old and in poor condition. Nog. Or nag. Is it like nag? Nag! Okay. The Great Nagli. I love... Nagli's fucking sick, actually. Wow. MyRise Hub, you can discover new story opportunities. Icons will... Icons will let you have fun. If you want to go through the main story quickly, focus on the must-play stories, but it is recommended to try and play all types of stories as they present new pathways and rewards that you wouldn't otherwise get. If you're ready to move on with the main story, enter the story gate. However, once you enter a story gate, you will not be able to go back and play any optional stories or challenge matches you may have missed. So chat, I got a level with you. I want to do a lot of stuff in this year, alright? I want to do a lot of stuff this year. Are we fine with just taking as many detours as I want? Are we fine with just spending a whole bunch of time with Shining Wizard this year? Because I want to take as many detours as possible. Do what you want. It's your boy. Do whatever you want. Yes. Okay, great. Great. That is what we're doing. This is where you can upgrade your superstar. Yeah. Wait, what does triangle let me do? Allows you to see which individual attributes are tied to each group. This is especially useful if you're looking for which group to upgrade in order to raise a specific attribute. Okay, that's actually kind of nice. Shiny Wizard has such shit resilience, dude. He's so... Dude, it's gonna be such an uphill battle for him. This is gonna be such an uphill battle. But again, uphill battles are everything that he knows about. If there's anyone ready for this moment, it's him. Thumb is...
Well, look who it is. If it isn't SummerSlam's Dark Horse.
Also, my headache is coming back, so I'm gonna go to bed and try to rest it away. You have a good stream. Get some good wins with the boy. Well, that I can promise you.
That nickname is sticking. Good times.
Dude, he's called the Dark Horse! Chat, it could not be any better! He's the Dark Horse of this fucking tournament! Shiny Wizard is swooping in, flying in like the Dark Horse that he is. He's gonna carry this fucking tournament on his back! The legends are true! This is awesome! This is awesome! It could not be any more perfect. The story writes itself.
Good times is Raw trying to steal SmackDown's WWE Universal title. Between us, what is Regal really up to?
Giving me an opportunity to win the WWE Universal Championship.
Fight forever. Jesus Christ.
Hello,
Man.
Mario.
I don't listen to Smash Mouth, but I'll smash your mouth. Hold on.
For life.
I would say do not do that. Thank you very much, mods. Do not come in here and open with that. That's weird as fuck.
He put you in a qualifying match. You think that's some kind of vote of confidence?
Yes, Dark Horse. Woo! Dark Horse. Let's go. No, a dark hose. That's oddly enough what I water my dead plants with. There ain't no meaning behind it. Dude, then why open with it? Dark hose is his finisher. The dark hose is what I go outside and water all of my dead plants with.
I'm not. What are you getting at?
You know he has all his royal eggs in the Cody Rhodes basket. He's just trying to set the American Nepo baby up to win. I'll tell you what, the draft starts tomorrow. You beat Dominic, maybe I bring you over to SmackDown in the supplemental. We'll make a big announcement on social media.
Oh, you'll post about me? For real? Why would you want me in the tournament instead of Dom anyway?
Because I want the WWE Universal title on my show, where it belongs. And I am 100% sure KO will beat you.
Because it catches streamers off guard. Yeah, it catches them off guard because it's fucking weird. Just like, listen. I'll let you off with a warning, but please just, you know, try to be cool, all right? Not to most streamers I met. Well, I'm not most streamers, I guess. It's weird. Just try to be chill, right? Try to be chill.
Coming
Not a
to
chance.
SmackDown. Man, that is a very generous offer and a wicked smart strategy, Miz. I don't want to overstep here. But I have just one little thing I'm bumping on.
What's that?
It's just that I would rather have my fingernails pulled out with needle-nose pliers than ever work for an entitled, condescending reality show hack like you.
Ah, the most integrity of all time. Shining Wizard.
I promise that you will regret that.
No chance! No chance! No! You got...
Miz, this right now, this conversation, talking to you, that's what I regret.
Man! Dude, Shining Wizard got them fucking bars! He got the bars, dude! Good night, peeps. Hi, Henry. Sleep well, Melody. Yeah, for sure. The Miz be the mid. He is the mid in comparison to Shining Wizard.
But soon to be full-fledged producer.
Tony Skimpkin. No, it's Troy Simpkin. Troy Simp, more like.
Troy, we've met several times. You even borrowed my toothbrush once.
Skimpkin. Troy Skip. He fucking does look like a skippity toilet guy, though. I can see him like coming out the. I can see him coming out the bowl. I gotta get Seafoam on like the phone again and tell him, hey, where does Troy Simpkin fit into the skibbity toilet cinematic universe? Is he supposed to be a parody of Tony? Not everything's a parody of Tony Khan.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Just because he has like 3 of the same letters as him doesn't mean that he's supposed to be a parody of Tony Khan. If anything, he's a parody of Twitch chat. But we'll see.
Ribbing you, bro. Anyway, just wanted to make sure you had the lay of the land.
Oh no, it's Vince Russo.
Already booked tonight, but normally these situations are a good chance to check your social media, talk to other superstars, mess with your attire, all kinds of things.
I know how these things
for
work.
A while now. I know how these things work.
Is he saying like he knows that there's a portal to like change like your appearance and shit? That's wild as hell. No wonder Raw's the A show with Shining Wizard on it. He brought some of that horse magic on there, and now people can just change their whole appearance at the snap of a finger.
Okay, fine. Just trying to be helpful.
Ribbing, it's so cool using insider terms. Aw, man. Next, you're gonna have Cody Rhodes just, like, fake a shoot walkout in the middle of a match on pay-per-view.
Thanks, but I need to focus on my match.
Good idea, since the kickoff show is starting soon. Oh, and I wanted to let you know that we won't be needing you for anything after the match, so feel free to head back to the hotel.
Why would I go back to the hotel? I expect to win and keep fighting.
Of course you do. Well, good luck.
Well, listen, dude, I'm just gonna have to get real insider terms shooty on you, bro. And just, you know, go over the younger Dominic Mysterio on the roster, bro, and go on to win the Universal Championship, bro. Someone is going to say botch at some point. Watch. I'm marking out. I'm gonna go out there and shoot pin Dominic Mysterio for shootsies, bro. All right, chat. We saw it. Turning this into a shoot, brother. All right, chat. Here is the man himself. Here he comes.
Everyone else on the roster is nothing more than a pale, sheep-ass, washed-up Shining Wizard bootleg.
Dominic Mysterio, you greasy son of a bitch! Kiss my ass! There he is, chat. Everyone hold up your signs. Watch in amazement. Fight forever. I need to like take off that lighting on him. I think it's better when he enters in kind of like darkness. He flies into the ring with the grace of Pegasus. He does. Look at this guy stealing his fucking gimmick. Can you believe this? Dominic Mysterio over here stealing Shining Wizard's look. His graphics, the purple lighting, he may as well be stealing the entirety of his gimmick. Boo! Get those boos coming in until the rest of the entrance chat. Boo! I'm gonna join you. Ooh. Oh, brother, this guy stinks. Chat, you're awesome. More booze. More booze. More. More. Streamerbot is so loud. Streamerbot is so loud, chat. Okay, stop! Stop with the booze! Stop with the booze! Holy shit!
Nothing beats a
cool, refreshing sip of water. I genuinely don't even have any more water. That was awesome. That was incredible, chat.
Hello, Mario.
Well done, chat. Well done. Well fucking done. That was incredible. I'll tell you what.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
We're almost on after this. Well worth almost 200, almost 2,000 points. That whole 7 needs to be a clip. Clip it, chat. It's right there. Clip it. Clip that shit. I already marked it, so. Coming into that match, this is what this right here is the fate for Dominic Mysterio. We haven't, chat, we're almost 75 minutes into this stream and we haven't even played a single match yet. I've just been having fun. Where's Featherfoot when you need him, LOL. Well, chat, do you know how to make a clip? Do you know how to make a clip, chat? You gotta be playing the video, and then you gotta go down into the right of the video player, and then you press the little clapboard icon.
life.
Holy crap. Keebs, thank you for the resub, my friend. You're now 2 months in. Thank you. I appreciate your continued support of the Longboy Club. Your donation will not be wasted. All right, we're gonna wait until the break is over, and then we're gonna play the match, chat. Oh my god, that was awesome.
Nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Welcome back to Raw. All right.
Hello, Mario.
Evan, hello. Welcome to tonight's Longboy Club meeting. Let's go ahead and let's play some music over this. This right here is Shining Wizard in action. Holy crap. He's so tiny, dude. He's even smaller than Dom. Woo! So I'm gonna be heading out now. Gotta sleep now. Best of luck to Shining Wizard. Exactly. The moonsault, by God. Dominic is so giant, dude. He's so giant compared to Shining Wizard. Oh shit. Oh. Woo! Nice! Springboard to the outside. Nice. Whoa, hello. Put some mustard on it, Shining Wizard. Boo, what do you mean? What do you mean, boo? Are you booing? Are you booing Dom still? Good night to all the long boys. Pales in comparison to a future legend like Shining Wizard. Sit the fuck down, Dom. Ow! Damn it. Holy shit!
See if you can throw a giant.
You picked the wrong horse.
Boys neck, ladies and gentlemen, step on up. Come on, come on.
You picked the wrong horse, fool. Is actually like really good though.
Oh, you.
All right, chat. I forget.
Or maybe you didn't. You owe me $10 either way.
I forget the moves that we gave this guy. Standing strong strike. All right. Well, we gotta start out light. What? Training blows. Training blows locks you in a duel of attacks with your opponent. Perform a strike. Hold square and then release it when the meter is in the green zone. If you miss it, then your attack will be countered. Do it 3 times and you lose. The gold zone appears as the minigame escalates. Stopping inside it will win immediately, earning you a reward and stuns your opponent. Which strike attack you perform. You can start training blows once per match by pressing and holding square until the strike lands. It may automatically occur after a high stakes reversal or pin kick out. Trading blows only occurs in one-on-one matches. Okay. shit. Damn. I'll probably get the hang of it as it goes throughout, but like that first one wasn't really all too hot. Right, I need to figure out what all we gave him again. Well, we gotta start out tame shit. What the fuck? What? Shiny Wizard! The shiningest wizard! What? No! No! Fuck you, Tom! Boo! Ow!
Ara.
2! Kick out at 2! Alright, Dom, let's go. Nice. Woo! Springboard. 450. No way, Tom. Whoa! Come on! Woo! Nah, no way. Shitty overdrive! Yeah, let's go! That's it. Only good overdrives exist. For Shining Lizard, yeah.
Spare serotonin, please.
Thank you. Oh, viva la raza, indeed. Incredible. Stay in the mid-card, Dom. It ain't your time yet. It's Shining Wizard's time. After Shining Wizard's defeat of Dominic Mysterio in the qualifying match, he will face Kevin Owens in the first round of the WWE Universal Championship tournament. I can guarantee that the winner, not Shining Wizard, will be the must-see champion on my show, SmackDown. Hashtag SummerSlam. Don't go back to the dollar store back room. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone, really. That's just cruel. Have you been to a Dollar Tree or a Dollar General? Dollar Generals are like the pinnacle of like human sadness, right? Like that's a place that no one wants to be, not even the people who are there. So I think that this is much cooler, chat. I want to have the default light show, okay? For real, I'm going to bed now. You enjoy your wrestling, man. Thank you for stopping by, Nelson. I appreciate it. Dom's got to go back to prison and like attending and being a fucking cash register junkie at like the fucking like the West Lafayette Dollar General. Also, how long do you stay in the robotic voice? Have I been the robotic voice this whole time, chat? Chat, have I been like this the whole time? The whole match. The whole match, eh? Redeemed it. Oh, well, that goes away after a while. Yeah. Yeah, boss, you sound like Soundwave. The whole match, I redeemed it. It's a shame it's only used when the Five Stooges come out. Well, now it's used every time Shining Wizard comes out. Which means that he's better. How long does it stay in the robotic voice? It stays for like 10 minutes, I think. Dude, look at that! You have a whole Easter basket full of Slim Jims there. This is like the most blatant product placement. But of course, we all know that that's there to help support Shining Wizard.
There he is. Great match with Dominic out there. Regal made the right call opening that last slot up. We're in the opposite bracket, but I'm kind of hoping you make it to the final. Real Cinderella story.
Is that like some kind of reverse psychology mind game?
Cody looks so fucking exhausted, dude. He's been at this for so long. He wants this to be the moment.
Hell no. You make it to the final, I'm aiming to beat you just like I was going to beat Reigns.
I want Cody's jacket. Very patriotic. I feel like if someone wears it, I, a white man, will be discriminated against.
Is that right? Hope you make it to the finals with some nice, short, easy matches on the way. I want everyone to know I beat you at your best.
He wants to finish his story so bad. He's got like the veins under his eyes. He hasn't slept in like at least 2 years. I mean, look at that hair. That's not even bleached blonde anymore. That's whitening. That's like whitening, dude. This is on his mind the whole time.
That's the spirit. Good luck tonight, brother.
Same to you. I'll see you in the main event in a few hours.
All right, let's do it. He wants to finish his story so bad. That's freaking ramen noodles at this point. My dude came in cooking with the beef broth.
KO
with a fried egg.
The WWE Universal Title Tournament. Let's do this.
Seriously? Are you literally the most desperate superstar on Raw?
I'm just saying.
Oh, KO, I'm so excited to fight you. What the hell have you ever done to even deserve being in the same room as the WWE Universal Championship?
Why are you such a dick?
You want to know what I've done to get here?
It was a rhetorical question. What you've done is take the opportunity to showcase your craft on the biggest stage in the world and flush it right down the toilet. You've been over on Raw for what, 2 years now? And most of the WWE Universe doesn't even know your name. All you are is some charity project for Regal.
The only reason that no one knows Shining Wizard's name is that Flim and Flam wiped it from the history books when they stripped the title from him because he beat Hulk Hogan. He's gonna get there at one point, alright? This right here is just another chapter in his story. This is the first chapter in his big story to get there.
For life.
Lucky the Fox, thank you for following. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. I appreciate you being here. Get a real load of this guy, exactly. He doesn't know
Mario.
the man-hours that have gone into getting to this point. He does not understand the man-hours that have been put in to get to this section of his road. To get to these crossroads. Are you a SpongeBob fan? I enjoy some SpongeBob, yes.
I'm nobody's project.
I'm my own project. I work on myself every day.
Half right. You're definitely a nobody. See you out there.
What the hell is his problem? Well, listen. You may not know Shining Wizard yet. But you will. Seeing all these fakers hustle to keep my belt warm is like watching an anthill after you stomp on it. SummerSlam. KO being KO. Good, because I was 10 years old when I learned SpongeBob was on Prime Video. SpongeBob is on Prime Video and on Paramount, I think. Alright, let's see the entrance now that I have the lights off. Oh, that's so much better, chat. Wait, where is he? There he is.
Making his way to the ring, representing the Natural Disasters from El Dorado, weighing in at
What the fuck? No, he's not. The Natural Disasters is just the name of the bracket. No, I said... I didn't say anything about 10, dude. I didn't say anything about 10. 10. There he is, chat. There's your guy. There's our guy. Kevin Owens' theme is pretty hype, yeah. He'll fly like a Pegasus and sting like a bee. As Kevin Owens will soon find out. Boo! He doesn't know what the dog is doing, chat. But Shining Wizard does. More boos in chat. Are we gonna do more boos in chat, chat? We are. Or did we all waste it on Dom? Okay, yeah, you're right. It isn't Dominic Mysterio. Oh yeah, Doomslayer thinks you're saying woo, chat. He thinks you're saying woo. I was saying boo earns. Alright, chat. I think at this point we need some more fitting music, right? It's boo earns, damn it. I think we gotta be doing this type beat, chat. Hold on. Knock some sense into KO with a heavy combo. Here you go. Turn that shit up. Keep the pressure on Kevin Owens. Yeah, chat, you know the fucking beat. Alright, gotta wear him down with the submission. Oh shit. Whoa! Woo! Yeah, exactly. Woo! There you go. Wait, will you be the next Jinder Mahal in the fiction of the story? Kind of. I mean, like, in canon, it seems like I have more wins than a Jinder Mahal. But, like, just enough to be, like, on the cusp of relevance. But, of course, everyone knows that Shining Wizard just needs that one moment. He needs the one shot. If you had... Woo! Come on. Come on, KO. Let's see what you got. Ooh. Ooh. Oh! Damn! The unfortunate thing about Shining Wizard is that he's extremely light. It will not take much to do anything to him, really. No! Oh shit. Paintbrush at the side of the apron. Again! Man, dude, the timing this year is fucking strict. Oh shit. I gotta roll out to the outside, dude. No! Shining Wizard with the overdrive! Victory is in sight. Grab KO. Alright, let's see. No! No! 1, 2. Come on, dude. I beat Dominic. It is Shining Wizard's time to shine without compromise. No, we're keeping this going. Did they turn commentary off? I turned it off. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Exactly. You got cocky, brother. What the fuck? Kevin screwed Kevin. Easy win. Easy out. It was right there, bro. Yeah, boo. The easy bait. And you took it. Hold the L. This right here is why we love Shining Wizard. He comes out from underneath and he overcomes the odds. You know, I can definitely turn on commentary, chat. Just as I usually keep it off because most of it is insipid commentary. It is on the insipid Taz commentary level of bad. Let's see here. I beat Strowman. I beat Styles. I sure as hell beat Cody. The Dark Horse I haven't beat. I'll beat him when I get back. If he still has a job. Did the Dark Horse of the WWE Universal Title Tournament just beat Kevin Owens to advance? Or did Kevin Owens beat himself? You're fired. You're fired. I think commentary is actually pretty decent in this. Plus it drives the story along a bit. Yeah, but like at the same time, we're gonna be like blaring music over it. So like, is it worth it? Also, I'm gonna be turning blood on, chat. I'm gonna be turning on that blood. Hasbro won't show it, but I sure fucking will. We're gonna make this horse... We're gonna give this horse some color. You can tell they weren't ready for Rocky to return. Nowhere near enough curse words. We'll see. We'll see how much off-screen shooting is done too, brother. But sure, I'll turn on the commentary. I'll turn on the commentary. Just for you guys. Here we go. And that was after we're two matches in. You're fired. Launches him from a heat-seeking missile. For real, though. Alright, here we go. Kayla Braxton, whatever the heck.
Hey, I'm about to go live.
Also, we never know when we get a gem like Cena's like a stealth bomber. I'm really glad that you thought that was funny. That absolutely caught me off guard when we were playing 2009. I gotta sleep after this next match, but I loved hanging out tonight.
PG brother.
Listen. Shining Wizard's not afraid to stretch what's possible. Him winning is the definition of impossible. You are the guy everyone's talking about. You got a quick
You
sec?
got a bag of ice?
No?
That is a bummer. But chatting with you is not. What do you want to know?
You really came out of nowhere tonight with a couple of big wins that have you in the hunt for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. But I have to ask, is your performance tonight a fluke?
In Shining Wizard's mind, PG stands for profanity. Good. Ponies? Great.
I'm sorry? A fluke?
I don't mean any offense, it's just your record hasn't exactly been at the WWE Universal Championship.
No, PG. Pony God. It's about damn time.
The only fluke is that I've been out here busting my butt for 2 years, and it's taken them this long to give me the opportunity. What the WWE Universe is seeing is not a fluke. It's a guy telling each and every one of them, and you, it's about damn time.
You did just take 2 stunners and win with a small package.
That's not a fluke, Kayla. I call it strategy. I beat KO by outthinking KO.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's go. Prime sub, go right ahead. Hey, that's 5 words.
That sounds pretty egotistical coming from a guy who's about to face Braun Strowman in the semi-final match.
That's not ego, it's confidence, and it is assuredness. He knows what he's capable of. He knows his ceiling, it's higher than it's ever been. And you're about to see that when he goes out there and wipes the floor with this fucking jobber.
The monster among men is going to do exactly what you and the rest of the WWE Universe are doing. Underestimating me.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Wow. Shining Wizard ain't fucking around now, dude. It's his time. He remembers the pain of losing the Hulk Hoofin years and years ago. He knows what that pain is like. Well, not anymore. It's his time. It's his time to have no excuses. No what ifs, no ifs, buts, nuts, or coconuts. It is his time to shine, and he's going to do it right here, right now. But first, we're going to run an ad.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Well, we're on after this. And I'm going to go and get a bit more G Fuel, y'all. Would an M-rated wrestling game work in 2024? I don't see why it wouldn't. Hold on a second. I'll play a little Gitsy for y'all while I go and get worker.
The Rugrats movie is a 2D side-scroller just like Mario. However, the challenge level is low, and the jumping control is awkward. When bouncing on balloons, you have to press the jump button long before you land on the balloon. Plus, the items have no tangible effect on gameplay, and the strong character development of the PlayStation title is sadly missing. If you want a great Rugrats game, try Rugrats Search for Reptar. In fact, we've been meaning to show you just how great the game is. To give you an idea of the outstanding level setups and strong characterization, sit back for a few minutes and enjoy some hilarious clips from the Rugrats PlayStation game. We'll be back with Gex.
Oh, that's better.
You look a little sick, Angelica. Ah! You. Let's go clean you up. I haven't golfed in ages. I'm taking the kids for ice cream, Deed. This is gonna be great.
Uncle Stu, where's the ice cream?
At the end of this majestic golf course stands Ice Cream Mountain. That's where I'm gonna get a hole-in-one and win you kids so much ice cream, you'll be eating until you're grown-ups. So what if it's never been done before?
We just gotta get the balls to the holes. If we all do some, we'll be done in no time.
Om nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
It's almost time
Holy shit. Mr. Doe with the Long Boys, Girls, NBs, and AGs. Thank you very much for raiding on in, everyone. Thank you for bringing your lovely community over here, Mr. Doe. For those of you who are unaware, my name's Travis Stev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we are playing WWE 2K24's MyRise mode. It's been really fun so far. We're having a great time hyping up my guy, Shining Wizard. He's gonna win the Universal Championship at SummerSlam after going 4 matches. 4 matches, Chad, and he's gonna go for all of it. He's halfway through the tournament at this point. He's just gotta stick it out for 2 more matches, and then the championship is his. Cool.
We got to get Grandpa's teeth back.
Oh, chat, I'm not gonna lie.
The park's so big, we might not find him till we're grown up.
I'm a little,
Needs us, Chucky. Come on, we got to find Spike.
I'm randomly hearing Rugrats. It's Gitsy to you, brother. That's Shining Wizard right there. He's about to overcome the impossible. He beat Dominic Mysterio on the kickoff. He beat Kevin Owens, albeit by the skin of his teeth. And now he's facing the toughest challenge yet. Braun Strowman. The Dark Horse, Shining Wizard of the Undisputed WWE Universal Title Tournament faces his toughest challenge yet in the monstrous Braun Strowman. Next on SummerSlam. Also, my stream manager froze, so I don't know why it didn't say I rated, so I missed the first bit. It did say you rated on my end. And thank you for the follow. Hey, no problem, dude. What were you doing over there?
Somehow he keeps surviving. It's the Dark Horse.
There he is. The Dark Horse.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, representing the Natural Disaster.
Shining Wizard.
Weighing in at 155 pounds, the Horseman.
There he is.
Strung together 2 victories tonight. Why not make it 3?
Why not? Because he's facing Braun Strowman. I don't think I need to say anything else.
Well, Corey, that's what a non-believer would say. That's what a very cringe individual would say.
He's had a good run.
But you're about to have your mind blown. There he is. So here's my question. We're booing Braun Strowman immediately. From what, North Carolina? Here he comes.
Strowman stomping to the ring with a mission on his mind.
Yeah, once Braun gets rolling, he plows straight ahead.
Jacksepticeye guy once said, all you need is a little PMA, positive mental attitude. And Shining Wizard's got that in droves. He knows what he's capable of. He can. I love how they photoshopped the I love how they scanned out the Superman tattoo on him.
Because the monster.
The SummerSlam crowd is firmly behind their guy. You know it.
Universe, brace for impact.
All right.
Guys, you are really beginning to see the wear and tear on the Dark Horse of the tournament.
Here we go.
KO beat the hell out of him. And now
Show Braun you have no fear and defeat. Well, we're off to a great start.
Not happening, Corey. We saw it with Dominic Mysterio on the kickoff show, and we saw it with
Yep.
Kevin Owens in our opening tonight. This man will not quit.
oh, nothing fancy there. I honestly can't believe we just saw a human being tossed like that.
Oh shit. Oh, this one might actually be hard, chat. This one might actually be tough. No!
It'll take more than that to hold him down.
Dominating shoulder tackle. It looks like Strowman's path of destruction is just becoming.
No! Exactly. God, the height difference. Shining Wizard is scrappy. Get out of the way, Charles Robinson. Come on. Ooh. Oh shit.
He's outside the ring now. I hope he's got a plan.
What the hell are you doing, Braun?
Striking with a knee. Oh man, he is
Got the big fucking hoss out here. Ugh.
Braun Strowman just goading his opponent.
No.
Leaping into the wheelbarrow, up and
Ugh.
around. DDT. Vicious knee drop. Oh, he's starting to struggle here. Yeah, Cole, but at this point in the match, you still haven't lost the edge. Gotta find
Oh shit.
before the count runs out, and he goes into the ring.
Come on. What? Come on, dude. There you go. I love the spent kick.
Nicely done.
I was late.
After knee after knee. My goodness. Lifts their opponent's legs. That's a free fall.
Oh shit.
Powering his opponent up into the monster slam. The monster's wrapping this up. The cover.
No, one.
Can't believe it. Unbelievable. Kick out. Slugging it out. Toe to toe now.
Come on.
So much pride. So much resiliency on display. Neither competitor is backing down. Well scattered reversal there. Toe to toe, treating each other like heavy bags. Exhaustion setting in, and neither one of them is letting up.
Come on. Overdrive.
Makeover. Serious jeopardy for Strowman.
Cover. 1, 2. No way.
I thought it was over. The WWE Universe thought it was over. But you gotta do a little more to finally finish this.
Come on.
Yikes, that'll either wake you up or knock you out. And Braun weathers another blitz of offense. Strowman could be in some... Here we go. No. Fake me out again. Here's the dive. Oh, no. Wait, maybe not. You got fooled again, Byron. Oh, slingshot.
Come on.
Great rotation. That is the attitude of a daredevil. The ability to take risks with minimal trepidation. No fear. Absolute reckless abandon.
Come on.
Sequence of reversals there. Dodge right on cue. Quick strike to the lower body. And now gets tossed into the ring.
All right. What finishers do we have, chat? Oh, we gotta do the coup de grace. Oh shit. Well, hopefully I can get up. There you go. Ah, the fucking visual of him laughing with the blood.
Heads out of the ring, but needs to be mindful of the referee's count here.
All right.
He's back in so close to a countout. You do not want to lose that way. Held in a perilous position. Right to the throat. And the elbow nailed it. And we see him take yet another shot to the body. He must have seen that coming. Nice.
Come on. Whew.
He's going for it all.
Let's go! That's it! That's it! 1, 2, 3! Let's go, chat! Oh my god! That was actually kind of hard. Woo! This is awesome!
But I'm sure the Dark Horse isn't satisfied yet.
Holy shit. Sorry, I'm not talking too much. It's actually hard, chat. This is actually kind of challenging. But this is the story we want for our guy. Got completely battered by a giant and still won. Kind of hard to claim the victories are a fluke now. Exactly. Shining Wizard is just that damn good. He's been this good the whole fucking time. And now he just has one more mountain to climb. He has one more mountain to climb. And that mountain is gonna be a nightmare. Everyone is calling my opponent the Dark Horse, but I think he's one of the next generation of great WWE superstars. Good luck in the final, Shining Wizard. You're gonna need it. The final match of the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship is set. Shining Wizard versus Cody Rhodes. Get him the Quaker's Oat sponsorship already. He's already got the Slim Jim sponsorship. He just needs all the sponsorships, chat. He's got to put food on his table. He's got to get that bread. The Miz, and William Regal. Now this is Blackpool Combat Club. He's so tiny compared to them, dude.
For my show's title with a bunch of Raw guys, and now 2 of them made it to the finals?
Mizanin, surely you cannot believe that I somehow conspired with Roman Reigns to abdicate his title. Perhaps he simply didn't want to work with you.
That is ridiculous. Roman loves me, and that's not the point. You and Triple H and all your little buddies skulking around to anoint
The American Nightmare versus El Dorado's Wizard.
This guy.
Hello again, Miz. I thought about your offer to come to SmackDown if I did okay against Dom and then lost to KO. I decided to beat him instead. Oh, and Braun too.
Looks like I made the right choice including you in this tournament.
You sure fucking did.
Look at the
Yeah, sure did.
Society. Can you really not see what's going on here, kid?
It's not the Mutual Admiration Society, it's the BCC, dude.
So Regal can put his boy Cody on the throne. He is using you.
Yeah, he is using me. To main event SummerSlam, Miz. I'm cool with it.
Whatever. I'm done with both of you.
This guy does sound like he's falling asleep a little bit.
WWE Universal Championship from SmackDown, Regal.
I believe I just have.
Well, get that world title over there, Miz. It's the better looking one anyways. Alright, chat. You know what we need in this final match. It all comes down to this. For all the marbles, it is Shining Wizard versus Cody Rhodes in the main event of SummerSlam for the Undisputed Universal title. Let's get it. It's the real life Cinderella story as Cody Rhodes faces the dark horse of the tournament, Shining Wizard, for the Undisputed WWE Universal title in the main event of SummerSlam. Right now. Let's do it, chat. Woo! I'm enjoying this so far. Hopefully everyone here is. I'm actually having a lot of fun. I'm having a shitload of fun right now. I'm having a lot of fun with this.
Against all odds, he's here to compete in the tournament finals.
Here he is. The Dark Horse. The Wizard of El Dorado. A shining star if there ever was one. It's Shining Wizard. Time to ruin this man's dream. Again. You've been trying to finish your story for years now, Cody. But now I'm finishing mine.
It's been an impressive one-night showing so far, but why stop here? He wants to finish the story against the man who coined the phrase, Cody Rhodes.
Easier said than done, Saxton.
Hello, Mario.
Smoother ride to the finals. This is going to be a one-sided fight.
It won't be easy, but he can do it, chat. It's time for Cody's nightmare. He'll win the title legitimately. It will go down the record books. He won't need the Block's help this time. He can do it on his own. Against one of the industry greats, Cody Rhodes. He's the Shadow Wizard Money Gang. He loves casting spells. The Shadow Wizard Money Gang. I love it. I love AEW. Cody can't handle his dad. Cody can't hand his dad the title. But the Shining Wizard sure can hand him this L. I was about to say, the only thing that Cody has ever won his whole life is L's. That can never be Shining Wizard.
Cody looks like he's really embracing the significance of this pivotal moment, soaking in and cherishing each passing second. I'm sure he is. He's not just walking to the ring, he's taking the final steps of a very long journey to get here.
All right. Is the Shadow Wizard Money Gang like the name of Shining Wizard's faction?
It's time for a summer
I think it should be.
extravaganza.
Here we go, chat. The 5-star classic. Cody Rhodes versus Shining Wizard. Write that down. Write it down in the server. The Shadow Money Wizard. The Shadow Wizard Money Gang. Here it is, chat. Though he's going to the pay window, Cody's coming out with the smaller purse.
All about the history, the lineage, everything that goes into the importance of this match.
Here we are, the World Circuit.
Universal Championship tonight. The dark horse of the tournament is the last man standing in his path. Things would be different if Roman Reigns hadn't walked away. But it sure
Oh!
the Universal title is in Rhodes' grasp.
After all you've seen tonight, you're still counting this man out?
There are only so many banana peels his opponents can slip up on, Saxton. Rhodes doesn't make mistakes. He is just reeling from that offense.
Yeah, but you can't count anyone out yet.
You can't lift him up. You're not gonna win a strength match if you're Shining Wizard. You barely have enough strength to even pick yourself up off the ground. Whoa! What are you doing, Cody?
This won't win the match. Trying to find a way out. This is agonizing. Climbing to the top rope.
Big mistake. Ooh! Gotta stay on him if you're Shining Wizard. Your legs are already battered. Come on. Woo!
Certainly going to threaten Cody's chances in this one.
What the? Okay.
And he'll leave the ring for this next stretch.
Holy shit. Ow. Train blows. The AI is playing ball with you. He is. We're putting on the generational match, chat.
Quick return to the ring.
You can actually have pretty good matches in this. Honestly. No. You wouldn't win on a count out, would you, Cody? No way. No! No! No fucking shit. No. Wow. It doesn't take that much, dude. Holy shit. Oh, we're gonna try that again.
After all you've seen tonight, you're still counting this man out? There are only so many banana peels his opponents can slip up on, Saxton. Rhodes doesn't make mistakes. Inverted atomic drop.
Come on, Cody. Show me what you got. Wow, one shot is all it takes. You can barely do anything. Oh! The best Shining Wizard ever! Ah, there you go. The BSWE chat is the name. Don't wear it out. Best Shining Wizard ever. Ah.
Yeah, this is not good. You don't say, Saxton.
No.
Didn't see it coming. He's been placed in the corner now. You have to wonder if Cody Rhodes came into this tournament's final match overconfident. I don't think so, Corey. Cody's a veteran. At this point in his career, he's learned not to underestimate any of his opponents. Reversal. And the ref gets taken out.
No. No.
No, the story should be complete.
Cody's fucking... He can't do it, dude. He can't do it. He can never win the big one when it matters. Roman! Huh?
What the hell is Roman doing here? Cody is hurt, guys, and the official has no idea. I can't believe this. Roman was supposed to be off in Hollywood.
No. Is he gonna be denied?
Thinking.
No. Roman, you sick son of a bitch.
Roman Reigns guaranteed that Cody Rhodes would not win the WWE Universal Championship, and the head of the table keeps his promises. No.
Roman, you sick son of a bitch.
Is the Kingmaker. This is criminal. Criminally genius. Look at the smile on Roman's face.
I can't believe how
No, this is not awesome. Mr. Cool with the long boys,
Hello,
girls,
Mario.
and B's and AGs. You came at just in time, actually.
Throughout the WWE universe for a very long time.
You just came just in time, my friend. Hold on. Okay. Mr. Cool, thank you very much for bringing your lovely community on over here. My name's Shirafasev. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight, we are playing WWE 2K24 MyRise mode with our character Shining Wizard here, who we created last week. And he just won the Undisputed Universal Championship, but in very controversial fashion. Because our opponent over there, Cody Rhodes, he had his number. He had him beat. But of course, the referee was out. And his longtime rival, Roman Reigns, came in, speared him, and put our hero, Shining Wizard, over Cody Rhodes' body. And the ref came to, counted the 1, 2, 3, and just like that, Shining Wizard is your new world champion. Now, you may think this is good for us, but it's not. I wish I could say it was good, but it's not. Because not only was Cody screwed out of finishing his story yet again by Roman Reigns, but Shining Wizard can still not say that he won a title on his own. His first
It's
world
almost
title,
time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
his very first world title that he ever won against Hulk Hogan, he needed help from the Block. But the second time around, he needed help from Roman Reigns. He can never win the big one on his own. He always needs some help from the outside. Even though he's never asked for it, he's always had help to get his big wins. So Shiny Wizard can still not say that on his own, he can become a world champion. That monkey is still on his back. And it seems like it won't be coming off anytime soon. Now, fortunately, I can snooze. Also, for those of you wondering, Hulk Hogan, the Block, that's all part of Shining Wizard's backstory that me and Sax created. Because in the pony world, in the pony headcanon, Shining Wizard defeated Hulk Hogan, the pony version of Hulk Hogan, for the world title. And he did so with the help of the Block, who is the pony version of The Rock. Is a monkey bot on his back? Sure is. Definitely. So true. But of course, he was stripped by the title of the promoters of the company. And his world title reign is not recognized. I told the husband about Roman Reigns stopping Cody Rhodes even in the video games, and the man has lost it. Dewey the Block Bobson. Dewey the Block Bobson is good. The Macho Mustang. Oh yeah, the Macho Mustang is so good. We also have the Macho Man. The Macho Man. The Macho Man Randhay Savage. Universal success. The Dark Horse, newly crowned undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but his reign is very much disputed. Let's read this over real quick. But his reign is very much disputed. After winning the championship due to Roman Reigns' interference, how long will the champion's run last? Will the Dark Horse etch their name in the record books alongside other great champions? Or will they only be remembered as a fluke, one-hit wonder? The longest reigning champion of the modern era promised that at Cody Rhodes would not win the title at SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns kept his word. But after the controversial finish General Manager William Regal has promised to settle the question in the ring. Cody versus Shining Wizard is kicking off Raw tonight. Look at these clowns dancing for the head of the table scraps. Tell whoever wins I left some polish in my locker. Keep my belt nice and shiny. The Macho Man. I wanna be a Macho Man. Macho Man. I wanna be a Macho Man. But yeah, Raiders for Mr. Cool. Welcome on in. I specialize in mostly wrestling content, but I also do role-playing games, strategy games, and really just kind of more chill out stuff like Duolingo, GeoGuessr. I did Pony Guesser the other day, and we got over 80% of our guesses right on that. It was really, really fun. Snap into a Slim Stallion. Eat me. Wow. You can never do it, man. You can never win the big one when it matters most. All right. We gotta go face to face with the man who we stole the moment from. Brett the Hitman
Cody,
Horse.
Man, I was gonna give you a call, but figured we should talk in person.
Buck the Hitman Horse.
I don't blame you. I know you and Reigns weren't in on it together. He was trying to hurt me, not help you.
I appreciate that.
Well, hey, at least we have Cody on our side.
At the same time, we both know I had you beat when Reigns attacked me from behind.
Is that what we know?
Wow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's when I got up to check on the ref.
There's absolutely no disputing that, dude. There is no disputing that. Shining Wizard still can't say that without the help of someone else, he can beat a he can beat a top star.
I don't need to recap. I was there. And I have the championship to prove it.
You took the crossroads, it was over. Look, you hung tough. Your time will come, but last night, you were done.
Stone Cold Steve Hoofston. I love it. I love it, chat. Now, what do we think Shining Wizard would say here? Would he dig his feet into the sand? Or would he actually... Shining Wizard is such a face. Yeah, he is.
Maybe so. But that was last night. Tonight's a different story.
How so?
We'd never fought before. Tonight, I know you.
That works both ways.
Let's do it.
No, I mean, I know you. That little panicked freeze you get every time you're under pressure, that worry you're not measuring up to your legacy, that you'll never finish the story. Man, you're not fighting me. You're fighting you.
Wow. He's hoofing a mud hole into him and walking it dry. The mind games. Shining Wizard is not the toughest guy in the yard. He's one of the smartest.
Wow. Turns out it's going to feel pretty good making you a one-night champion with an asterisk by his name.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Wow.
Can you win a title somebody doesn't hand you, Cody?
Rawbles on after this.
See you out there.
Wow. Man. Don't you love it when two kings go at it? Don't you love it when two kings go at it, chat? That was fucking incredible. When two absolute stallions, two mustangs, go at each other, butting heads to see who is the best. But no. That was very much it for Shining Wizard. If not for Roman, he would have lost. He would have lost again to a top guy. But will this time be different? Will this time be a different story? We'll see. We'll see about that, chat. I will say that once we're back from break, or rather once we talk to Willie Reeves here, I do want to take a break. but first I'm gonna wait until the ad. Excuse me, until the ad is done. Jeez, it was very gross. It was very, very gross. Dewey the Block Bobson. I enjoy Dewey the Block Bobson a lot. Bless you. I'm very, very burpy these days, chat. I apologize. Also, I enjoyed that they did get Cody to, like, do voice work for this game. He's not half bad. He's not half bad.
Nom nom. Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw.
It is an absolute crime, the position that Roman Reigns has put you in. The cloud now hanging over your reign as WWE Universal Champion belies your effort. I know you fought like hell to win the title.
He's no William Regal. William Regal is actually a real good VA, actually. He doesn't phone it in at all. It's better than JR in Fight Forever. I think my dad, after five shots in, would be better than JR in Fight Forever.
You're damn right I did. Had to compete in an extra match too, and I still made it to the finals and won.
A fine achievement that the WWE Universe nonetheless looks askance at.
Askance?
Reigns beat Cody as much as you did. Perhaps more.
William Regal's busting out the thesaurus, you know? Or not John Cena in WWE. What the fuck? Chickens with the Long Boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. Thank you very much for rating, and we're getting so many rates tonight. Hi, welcome to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting, everyone. Hopefully you had a fun time over in Chicken's stream. Hopefully you're doing well too, Chickens. It's been quite a while since I've spoken with you. I really hope you're doing well. For those of you who are unaware, my name is Giraffe7. I am the president of the Long Boy Club. I'm the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. Tonight,
Hello, Mario.
We are playing WWE 2K24. We are playing as my guy, the man, Shining Wizard. We made him in this game. He is the current undisputed WWE Universal Champion, but it's under controversial circumstances. Tonight, he is looking to get that monkey off his back and prove that he can beat a top star for a championship all by himself. But at the same time, his opponent, Cody Rhodes, is looking to get his own monkey off his back and finish his story. What the fuck? Z the Wolf with the Long Boys, girls, NBs, and AGs. I guess I gotta do my spiel again. I'm Giraffe7. I'm the president of the Long Boy Club. Very large enjoyer of gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations. My stinky cat. We're playing WWE 2K24, MyRise. We are about to face off for the WWE Universal Championship. And the story is Shining Wizard, Universal Champion. He doesn't think that he can win on his own because the only reason that he's champion right now is because he beat Roman Reigns for the title. No, it's because Roman Reigns helped him win it. But the challenge here is, can he do it without his help tonight? Anyways, yeah, dude, I've been getting rated left and right like nonstop tonight. I've got like 6 or 7 people to thank tonight. Listen, I really just need to say, first off, mods, can you please shout out Chickens and Z the Wolf? If you've not done so already, I would really appreciate it if you did that. Jeez. Also, oh man. But second off, thank you. Ashley said we got 41 people watching. I don't know if that's true. But if we do, thank you. Thank you. We've been consistently hitting incredible numbers this year. And, you know, they're incredible by my standards. I'm not the biggest fish in the pond. But, you know, when you're when you're doing this for so long, you sometimes wonder if you're ever going to get to that point. And it's been happening more often than not for me lately. And that's something that I really appreciate. I don't know how long it'll keep up for. I don't know. I don't know what'll happen. But know that I appreciate it. Know that I really, really appreciate it so fucking much. I can't describe it. I can't describe it. If you've not done so already, I would appreciate a follow, because what you see right now, this is the majority of what I do. I play wrestling games. I sometimes play role-playing games, RPGs, strategy games. I'll do chill out streams sometimes, and where I'll just do whatever I want. whether that's I'm in robo mode, but I'm gonna keep doing my thing. I'll sometimes do Duolingo on my chill out nights. I'll do GeoGuessr, Pony Guesser. Let's see, what else have I done? I've done like weird like YouTube deep dives sometimes. Essentially, the chill streams are just kind of my experimental night where I just kind of do whatever I want. And yeah, I would appreciate a follow if you've not done so already, because again, I enjoy having as many people here as possible. And yes, exactly. And Skibbity Toilet is one of those deep dives. I'll say, Skibbity Toilet taught me to love again. It taught me to love being creative. Because even though it's... Yeah, absolutely. Feel free to lurk, chickens. And to anyone else who, like, rated in recently, whether it be Z or Mr. Cool or anyone else, if you need to raid and run, if you need to lurk for a bit, that's absolutely fine. We're going to be taking a break here in a couple minutes because I need to stretch and go pee. But first we're going to keep on going here with Willie Reegs. So chat, in my head, right, I'm thinking that the characterization of Shining Wizard is that when he's around, like, the big guys, he, like, knows where his position is, right? Like, he's humbled in their presence. But when he's around guys like William Regal, you know, he has a chip on his shoulder. He feels like he's got more to prove. So I'm thinking that the way to go is seriously. I'm thinking that.
Seriously? What does it even matter how it happened? I walked away with the title, yet he's the one you want to be champion?
Hogwash. I want the best man to win, and that is all.
Really? No little push for your buddy's kid to go to the top?
That accusation is beneath your dignity. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's a very busy night with the draft starting. Good luck.
I missed some Beam Flurry with Excalibur as well. That was a very blessed time in our sport. What's also a blessed time is this break. Thank you again, everyone. We'll be back in a few minutes, okay? We'll be back in a few minutes. Welcome back to tonight's Long Boy Club meeting, everyone. I'm Giraffestev. I regret to inform you that we are approaching the end of tonight's festivities. I got about like 40 minutes left in me, and then we're gonna be about at the 3.5 hour mark, which is around how I usually want to stream. But we'll kind of see where the story takes us. I may want to go a little longer than that. In addition to tonight's huge SummerSlam rematch opening the show, the WWE Draft kicks off on Raw. What a packed night. Why is no one talking about how it's a travesty that SmackDown doesn't have a champion? Working hard to address this soon. Dude, you've been in WWE for how long now? You know that the titles are just gonna switch. Come on, let's not play dumb. Let's not play dumb now. Or will they only be remembered as a fluke one-hit wonder? Let's see.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Undisputed WWE.
Dude, imagine having a WWE Championship match on Raw. This is a blockbuster main event for any arena, anywhere. Imagine your top champion on weekly TV. Not in this economy. Yeah, imagine that. You can have that with Shining Wizard. He is the dark horse, the workhorse, the Pegasus to end all Pegasus. A shining star if there ever was one. It is Shining Wizard. Hey Z, thank you for following. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. I thought you were already following. I'm being perfectly honest, but thank you for following now. Also, Gerbil. Oh wait, hold on. What? Okay, well I guess the Prime. I guess the Prime is a little broken. I'll have to fix that. I will make a note for myself on that now. But thank you very much for the Prime, Gerbil Tail. Thank you for your donation to the club. It will not be wasted.
He reached the main event of WrestleMania. Now it's time to finally finish the story. You can compare him to a...
Did you ever think that the story would be finished here on Raw, chat? It was just here on an episode of Raw. He's the world-class Intercontinental Champion-esque workhorse and the WWE Champion. He's the one you want to bet on. Bet on the dark horse, the workhorse, the shiniest star in the sky. It's Shining Wizard. The magic man from El Dorado. Shining Wizard. So chat, wait. Oh, I forgot that we did this. This is mocking Cody, essentially. The very first title defense, and it's this? Wow. The disrespect. The disrespect on display from Shining Wizard. What are the odds that our first title absolute shade? That's incredible, chat. What are the odds?
Do we have to call this guy undisputed? After Roman Reigns handed him the title at SummerSlam, he's very much disputed.
The finals were full of controversy, but the champion did win the title.
The shade of it all. The wings. Dude, the wings. No, don't boo him. He didn't know. He's a tweener. You can't boo Shiny Wizard. Exactly. He's a tweener right now. I'm gonna be honest though, like him up on the turnbuckle posts with like the fucking dark wings behind him. What a visual. That's class, dude. That's some absolute wrestling perfection.
The challenger from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing in at 220 pounds, the American Nightmare, Cody.
Also, chat. If he turns heel, then he can be the dark horse.
And his opponent from El Dorado, weighing in at 155 pounds, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
Wow. Holy shit. If he turns heel, then he can be the dark horse. You know what? Fair enough. Until then,
Possession of this title puts
until then, he is the shiniest star. He is the workhorse. He is the magic man from El Dorado. He's Shining Wizard. Now, chat. If this is the match, we got to do this, right? I think we got to do this.
With Roman Reigns back in Hollywood, we can finally settle the WWE Universal Championship controversy once and for all.
No, come on, dude. Huh?
Miz doing out here? I said, stop this unsanctioned match.
What?
That's right, unsanctioned. I'm so sorry to ruin his lordship's plan, but Raw's Royal General Manager William Regal seems to have forgotten something.
What is Miz talking about?
Don't rob this moment from us, Mike.
Regal forgot that I had the first pick in the draft. So
Don't you dare rob this from us.
Undisputed WWE Universal Championship for Raw ends tonight.
He's not going to do this in the middle of his huge match, is he?
The WWE Universal Champion has been drafted to SmackDown. Immediately.
Miz can't do this. He just did, Saxton, and it's brilliant.
Come on. Cheer up, Rhodes. I'm sure Regal will give you another chance at the World Heavyweight Championship.
Boo.
Speak of the devil. Have a look, Regal. All the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. That's what I thought. Now tell my WWE Universal Champion to get out of that ring and pack his bags.
I'm afraid Mr. Mizanin is correct.
No.
This rematch is cancelled. And the undisputed WWE Universal Champion is bound for SmackDown.
No. No.
Change in the geography of WWE has just taken place in the middle of this championship match.
Good luck countering that move in the draft, Regal. Miz just told the whole Raw audience, you want excitement? You come to SmackDown.
While a huge question mark continues to hang over the Dark Horse champion.
No. Dude, I'm actually heartbroken. That was such a Raw thing, too. That was such a Raw thing to do, dude. You advertised a title match, and it doesn't even happen. That was such a Raw that was a Raw type beat, dude. That was not a match. It was an angle. Wow.
The undisputed WWE Universal Champion has arrived at SmackDown.
And the thing is, Shining Wizard still can't say.
That's more than an exaggeration, Corey. He put on a show at SummerSlam and
Oh wait, that's copyright music. Copyright music. Da 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 do 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 do. No, it's my life, my time, my rights, my rhymes. You go on and so forth. So on and so forth. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. You're the one I need to beat, especially Dark Horse. That's his heel gear right there. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Thank you. Thank you. They're really rubbing it in now. Put Hulk Hogan right in your face. Exactly. Unlike Hulk Hogan, Shining Wizard still can't say that he beat a world champion caliber competitor legitimately. He is still a fluke champion for all intents and purposes. Until he beats Cody Rhodes, he can never say that he won the belt himself. It's always with an asterisk. Roman Reigns is a real piece of shit. Princess Celestia would be disappointed. Dude, Shiny Wizard couldn't do anything about it. There's nothing he could have done. There is nothing he could have done in this situation. Well, he's gonna have to make do on SmackDown then. Fucking Nitro ass bullshit. Wow. SmackDown GM Mike The Miz has guaranteed a must-see welcome for the new WWE Universal Champion, Shining Wizard. Tune in to find out what's in store for the Dark Horse. Chat. Should we embrace the gimmick? I don't know. Hold on. Hold on. I want to see what the attire looks like, okay? I want to see what the attire looks like on him. What do these pants look like? That's fucked. That is fucked up. Do we have, like... Where are, like, the Dark Horse bottoms? So we're probably gonna find them here. They're under the trunks, I think. Alright, let's see if we can find them. Dark Horse, Dark Horse, Dark Horse, Dark Horse. I just want to see what they look like. What the fuck? What? Oh no! Let's retaliate from that. Holy shit. That's fucked up. I mean, under the trunks section attire. Oh, trunks. Ew, 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 ew. I know. It's fine. It's okay. It's okay. That sucks ass. That's bad. Oh, no. That right there looks like the fucking, that right there looks like the boxer shorts that, like, Manscaped sends you. This is like the boxer briefs that, like, Manscaped sends you. Have you seen those, chat? Look at that. You gotta admit, chat. What? The lack of tights makes the flesh-colored boots that much more freaky. The shoes are literally like... The shoes are literally like fused onto his feet. They're like fused onto his calf muscles. They cannot come off. They are now a part of him. They are now as much of a part of him as they are a part of the wrestling world. Lives and breathes this bullshit, and now he wears it too. Like, look at that. Look at that. It's like his calves are like covered in like weird stretch marks, right? And his feet. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Always ready! I don't know if now is the worst or best time to turn and heel. How about we continue forward and then we'll see the context of what's to come, right? Because in my head, when he turns heel, I want to do something to him. Hold on, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on music. When he turns heel, we gotta do something, chat. I want to change his look. Alright? Stick with me. Just like imagine, okay? Stick with me. Heel Shining Wizard would be on the juice, make him more ripped. I think that would be real cool. Shining Wizard ditches the purple and the pink, and he replaces his purple spots with red. And he's got the black mask. God, I'm like looking at this now and it's gonna take forever to do this shit. Are you seeing what I'm doing here, chat? Do you see the vision on display? I hope the answer is yes. I think you might be able to change the colors in the color parts thingy. The color parts. Like all at once. Where do I go to that? Where do I do that, Keebs? Please help me, I'm a little dumb. Go back to the first screen of the character creation. Okay. Oh! Oh! I see where you're going with. You right. You right. You right. You right. Okay. Well, then that's what we'll do. Hold on. I'm gonna change his social info. Yeah, there you go. The Dark Horse. The Horseman will be his face name. The Dark Horse will be his, it'll be his heel name. Well, chat, I think we figured out what we're gonna do here then. I think we successfully figured out what we're gonna do here. Now then. Continuing on.
Good to see you two, champ. Come on, what's with the boo-boo face? When I'm the one who liberated you from his lordship.
I didn't need liberating. Let's skip the pleasantries. You wanted the WWE Universal Champion on SmackDown. Here I am.
What I wanted is the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The champion can be anyone who understands what it means to represent the most must-see sports entertainment show on Earth. You think you're that guy?
This has the energy of, like, that one episode of SpongeBob where, like, Mr. Krabs bets SpongeBob's contract on, like, a game of poker and he loses. Well, love, I set my left foot in front and I lost. I knew I should have stepped forward with my right foot instead. This is like when, like, Plankton is, like, telling SpongeBob that he needs to cook a Krabby Patty this instant. I'm my own man.
What I think is that I'm my own man, and the WWE Universe will come along with me or they won't. I'm not doing dog and pony shows for anyone.
You might be your own man, but you are playing in my sandbox. And you can play big bad counterfeit Stone Cold all you want, but you will quickly realize you're just making your life harder.
But this grill is not a home. This is not the stove I know.
Since you were so ready to face Cody Rhodes on Raw, I can only assume you are ready for Kevin Owens tonight.
My dude, I've been My dude, I've been ready for Kevin Owens since day one, son.
I beat KO in the tournament, and I will gladly beat him again.
Excellent.
Nothing beats
Just
it.
a heads up,
refreshing sip of
I
water.
might come
Thank
see
you.
your match in person. You know, just an impartial observer to get a closer look at the champion I drafted. Absolutely no other reason at all. See
All right.
you out there.
Cool. This is the story confirmation prompt. It'll give you relevant information on the story, such as rewards gained on completion. Hi, Henry. You always had the option to confirm or back out the story through this prompt. You locked into a story and can no longer take on other stories until you finish the current one. If you feel like you want to explore a little more or customize your WWE superstar, you can always select to decline the story and come back to it later as long as you've not passed through a story gate. Cool. I love the Ms. GM jacket. That's incredible. All right, let's do it, chat. Hulk Hoofin, after I take on Cody, Shining Wizard's coming for you. Count your days, Hulk.
Is scheduled for one fall and is for the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
All right, here we go. Dude, this doesn't count, does it? Like, this isn't the match that's gonna prove the worth of Shining Wizard, right? This isn't the match that's gonna prove his worth. We need more booze in chat. We need more booze in the chat, chat. But wait until Dominic, absolutely.
Feeling lucky for the chance to redeem himself after
This would be a pretty awesome match, though. But there will be. We're about to see it.
It's not every day you get a chance to rectify your mistakes this quickly.
I wonder what Cody's gonna be like next time we see him, chat. It's probably gonna be a long while. But I don't think that's the last we'll see of Cody. For now, though, we gotta look at what's in front of us. And what's in front of us is Shining Wizard. It'll be punished, Cody. He'll be a real Punisher. Rising from the bottom up to the top. Like the cream of the crop. Ooh, yeah. It's Shining Wizard. With his big gold belt. What if it hits him so hard Stardust returns again? I will lose my shit. I'll lose all my shit if that happens. Now, fun thing, chat. You know those side plates on the belt? You can customize those. We need... Colt Owens doesn't stand... Colton Owens doesn't stand a chance. But yeah, you can customize the side plates. Which means...
Thank you, Miz, for doing a wonderful job.
Which means... we can do something cool with them if we want to. And I want to do something cool with them.
This is the start of a long and successful journey.
I don't know what we want to do with it yet. But I do want to put something on them. We could put the Long Boy Club logo on them again, but... I don't know. Is that what we want to do, chat? Would we want to do that? The side plates should have horse faces. No! I know what I need to do! I'm gonna get Marshall on the phone here soon enough. and tell him, hey, I need some side plates. Also, thank you, Bruiser Bunny, for following. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Is that like a Bruiser Brody thing, or are you just, or is it just kind of a fun little thing? Hopefully you're doing fine, my man. Or woman, or however you identify. I don't like how he shakes his ass, chat.
Hello, Mario.
Hey, Catman, how you doing? We could try and make your face and put them on there. We could. But like
The Miz is wasting no time with his new acquisition.
Hello, Mario.
Are you a huge wrestling fan? That I am. I'm a big wrestling fan. I've been for many, many years, ever since probably the age of 11. I've been a big wrestling guy. I have no, yeah, exactly. You have no clue, buddy. If you are too, then you'll probably find a home here. In fact, if you want, while I have everyone's attention, I have a Discord server. I've got a Discord server. We are watching My Little Pony Friendship's Magic in there right now, but this weekend, rather next weekend, we are going to be watching both nights of WrestleMania 40. We're going to be watching both nights in there. I will be holding a watch party with it. We're going to watch every match on the show. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. Hopefully Cody finally gets the World Championship. Fuck. Hopefully. And if he doesn't, well, you're going to see a very, very, very sad giraffe. Either way, join me for it. Join us for it. Join a fun community of wrestling, games, and other such silliness. We have, again, weekly watch-alongs. I try to be in call more frequently these days, but, you know, I'm busy and I don't often work well when other people are talking. But I try to be in there as often as I can. So you just watch WWE? Actually, I barely watch WWE. I watch AEW, mostly. That is my preferred wrestling. But, so I honestly think that The Rock and Cody are secretly working together. I don't know, man. I don't know why I don't know to what end you would make your WrestleMania opponent bleed. And then say, oh, I was working with him the whole time, brother, dude, Jack. I feel like it's just more satisfying to just have Cody beat the odds. You know? Just have him swoop in, be the conquering hero, have Seth and Jay help him if he needs it, and then become the new champion. You know? So I love all wrestling companies. I just love good wrestling. You know? I'm not going to say I love all wrestling companies because I don't watch AAA, I don't watch New Japan. I don't really watch TNA all that much. I'm really sad about TNA, honestly. I'm sad about TNA. But it's so wild to think Sammy is like no presence in the storyline these days. It is! Despite the fact that he was such an integral part of it. Shining Wizard's childhood hero was John Cena-Tar. Cena-Tar is so good! John Cena-Tar is incredible. I gotta write down all these names, chat. John Cena-Tar. Good. But no. I'm gonna look up a little thing here because in my head, there's like a type of like background that I want for like Shining Wizard, right? If we're going to have Shining Wizard plates, they gotta be stuff like this, right? It's gotta be stuff like this. This right here, this is what we need to go for. We need to have kind of like these sorts of like renders and these vectors, right? Like these have to be the side plates. I think that'd be cool as fuck. I think that would be cool as fuck. Like we have them face like opposing ends. And, you know, one faces one side, one faces the other, and those are your side plates, you know? I think that would be so fucking cool. I think that'd be so cool. Jay and Seth being the backup, but not Sammy, unbelievable. I know. And you know what? I hope he wins the IC title off of Gunter, but it really should be Chad Gable, you know? You can upload that into the game pretty easy. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's why we're talking about it right now. I want to, like, have something like that. I need to get more AEW merch. I have a single Dark Order shirt. I have a Danhausen shirt and a CM Punk shirt, oddly enough. But that's about it. I don't really buy a lot of wrestling shirts because a lot of them kind of just wear out really, really easily. You mean Intercontinental title, LOL. What did I say? What did I say? It should have been Gable all along. What were they thinking? I don't know what they were thinking. Like, what is Chad Gable doing on the WrestleMania card? Is he doing anything? Like, what's he doing? What's he up to right now? What's he cooking? But yeah, like, that's my line of thinking. He's in the Sammy story. Well, then you would think it would be like a triple threat for the IC title, and then Chad Gable comes out the other end. The only merch I have is a really old Stone Cold t-shirt. I used to have a DX one and a Rey Mysterio shirt, but I don't know where they went. One theory I have is maybe Gable costs Sammy the title at Mania, and we get a heel turn. Sammy and Gable feud after Mania. I don't want a heel Chad Gable. Chad is just so he's so likable, right? He's so likable. If there's one thing I want out of this Mania, I just want all the good guys to have everything. Like last year's Mania, honestly, a lot of the heels kind of won. You know, a lot of the heels won. Especially the biggest heel, Roman. Just have this one be the feel good weekend, right? Just have as many good results as you can realistically have, right? Yeah, I like dude. I've always been a face guy, right? You know, like, I will carry water for a good heel, but for the first time in so long, WWE has, like, actually likable faces, right? I mean, like, you have Cody, you have Jay, you have Sammy. I mean, hell, you even have Seth to some extent, even though he's kind of on the bottom of the totem pole there. Like, you have some actually good faces, right? That people actually want to cheer for. To be booed at your own hometown is a major accomplishment as a heel. Exactly. Gunter is actually so good, I don't want him to lose. Gunter is good. Gunter is good. But no, anyways, chat. What fight music are we doing? Do we want to default back to World Circuit given how it's a title match? I think we do World Circuit because it's title match. Right? Yeah, you're right. Not World Circuit, maybe lower. Well, listen. I want to save time to make history for, like, our next fight against Cody, right? Like, this right here is the Cody fight, right? Okay, how about this, chat? What do we want to do for this? Let's see. I think we do this.
The Universal Championship match right here, right now on SmackDown. I'm smelling a title change here. KO's a hard man to beat. He's even harder to beat twice. Not that he needs it with the title at stake, but Owens will definitely have some extra motivation after losing to the champ in the opening round at SummerSlam. Ridiculous standing shooting star. Quick reflexes so important in a match like this. The WWE Universe giving him an extra shot of adrenaline. Evading offense. These two battling to a dead heat with these reversals.
Battling to a dead heat with these reversals. Paintbrush on the side of the apron. And again. They added music during a match? They did not. I added music during a match. I got a big old soundboard full of music here. And I like to choose between, like, different fight music in between matches to help keep things interesting. I mean, if they make the women's tag titles mean more, then maybe it would help with women's belts. I will say that the problem of women's booking, that is not exclusive. He's so menacing. I was gonna say that. No, I mean like the problem of like lackluster women's booking. It is not just a problem with AEW. Evidently. Which is not to make excuses. I think that it needs to be improved across the board. The guy behind me can't see. Holy shit. What? Ain't no way. Whoa, hello. Holy shit. Well, okay. Opportunistic. Whoa, no, no, no. No, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do that. Ooh. Come on. Let's go. Not even one. Not even a one count. Want to know my top 5 wrestlers in AEW? Sure. 1. Christian Cage. 2. Will Ospreay. 3. Swerve Strickland. 4. MJF. 5. Darby Allin. I gotta say that my 5 favorites in no particular order are probably Jon Moxley, Hangman Adam Page. I think Hangman is just my favorite, just in general. I think that's like the best one for me. All right, let's see what kind of what the fuck? What? Hey, you! No, sorry, I was, wait, can I do a neck breaker, or no? I think we need to switch around how we do the neck breaker, chat. Alright. So we gotta figure out the names of these finishers, chat. First off. Sorry, I often, like, start thoughts and then I don't finish them. Anyways, chat. We gotta figure out the names of the finishers here that we're doing. No! Ow! Damn it. We gotta figure out the names of, like, the signature moves that we're doing, right?
The sheer force of that landing was probably enough to fracture a few bones.
We went to the well one too many times. I gotta stop lifting. The one is called the Sonic Rain Boom. Yeah, I know that.
Talk about devastation. The effects of this match are showing on the champ.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
Stop! Fuck you! Not gonna lie, for a sec when The Miz came out the way he was dressed, I thought it was Nick Aldis. I mean, he does have the same fit. He does have the same fit as him. He does have the same fit. Not gonna lie. Anyways. Now. Super kick. I think that the Bronco Buster is called the Bucko Buster. The Bucko Buster, yes. What happened to Nick Aldis that made him become a GM? He left TNA, and I guess he didn't want to wrestle.
I see.
All right, let's see here.
Owens' head now. Forearm right to the jaw. He's got him in deep trouble here.
Let's do that. Whoa, guillotine. Holy shit. Ow. Damn it.
Something's about to go either very wrong or very right. He's positioning himself, closing in
to the sky.
Nah.
All the way up and around the world.
Crucifix head scissors.
Hold on. I'm going to try a leverage pin on him.
KO getting rolled up here.
And that will
What? Okay.
another flash win for the WWE Universal Champion.
He can't do it. He can't do it. Nah, brother. Shining Wizard's got you pinned. Shining Wizard's smarter than that. He's been around the block. He knows what it's like to lose because of a steel chair.
This is an all-out assault.
He knows what it's like to almost lose a title to a steel chair.
Maybe he thought the champ needed to take a seat after a tiresome match. We don't know.
I'm not gonna lie, chat. This whole storyline so far, it lines up with my lore.
This looks like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar with that table.
So much for being an impartial observer. Run, Miz. Get out of there. Looks like the champion might take advantage of that table, Miz.
It's funny because this isn't even the first time that The Miz has been a SmackDown general manager in in a WWE storyline game, rather in a WWE game storyline. Exactly.
In this match and managed to hoist himself by his own petard.
The WWE Universal Champion has come to SmackDown, and he's making a statement to Miz, KO, and the entire WWE Universe. Yeah, well, take a look into Miz's eyes, Cole.
Anytime that he wins a championship match and it's not against Cody, he's not satisfied. He's not satisfied until he gets the monkey off his back and defeats Cody Rhodes. That's the only way that this will end. It's the only way. After assaulting Kevin Owens after their WWE Universal title match on SmackDown, The Miz has promised serious consequences for Shining Wizard. Listen to y'all talking about this chump barely winning his first title defense on day one. I held the WWE Universal title for so long that I had nothing left to prove. Call me if Shining Wizard makes it through 30 days. Shining Wizard powerbombing KO? I don't buy it. I don't buy it either. I think that Shining Wizard was on the Hoofenjuice tonight. He's not usually that strong. I don't remember my Shining Wizard being that strong. Reigns is right about one thing. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. As WWE Universal Champion... Oh, wait. Reigns is right about one thing, love. Heavy is the foot that steps right. As WWE Universal Champion, you will always have a target on your back. Be careful. Especially now that it's clear that...
Life.
Especially now that it's clear that Baby Dragon Husky Hybrid is following you on Twitch. Thank you very much. You're now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. Be careful. Especially now that it's clear Miz is working to make you walk with your right foot.
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
I'll just do it right now, chat. Thank you for following. I've already now a member of the Long Boy Club for life. I appreciate it.
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Raw rolls on after this. I don't know, chat. I could keep going. I could keep going for a little while longer. For like a little while longer, though. Let me tell you something,
Mario.
sunshine. I do need water. Be right back.
Nothing beats a
cool, refreshing sip of water.
Like Illusion of Gaia,
I'm downing
Earthbound
more
comes
water
packed with a
than
load of
Shining
hints if you
Wizard
need
after
them.
a long
Earthbound
match.
is an easy RPG, but Nintendo wanted the game to be easy so it provide constant, uninterrupted fun. Earthbound has so many comic elements to it that Nintendo doesn't want you to give up on the game and never see those funny scenes. Earthbound is the first RPG to be set in modern times. You save your progress by calling your dad over the telephone and refill your energy by eating pizza. Speaking of pizza, you can play the game with your left hand and eat pizza in the other, since the game can be controlled with the L button, which lets you talk and check, otherwise known as search, and the control pad to move. Prepare to visit several places: a clubhouse, arcade, burger shop.
How we doing, chat? How we doing? I'm so glad that they kept this up for 15 plus years, chat. This here infinitely makes the channel better for it just existing. What happened to George Wood? He got bored. He ducked out. He's done. Also,
Nom nom.
Not
Oh,
gonna-
excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. Remember to step forward with your left foot. Where the fuck did that even come from? It just feels like New Legacy like brought it up once and now it caught on a little bit. Where did stepping forward with your left foot come from?
What the hell, Miz? Impartial observer? You were passing chairs, setting up tables. I'm surprised you didn't chuck a ladder at me for good measure.
Turns out the situation called for a partial observer. It's what's best for the image of the brand.
And that would be Kevin Owens? What does he have that I don't?
Exactly.
It was exciting, unpredictable. Yeah, he's a little rough around the edges, but Maurice has her stylist working on a makeover, and there's this amazing jacket being tailored. Look.
Whoa.
The point is,
I want to see the major fit that he's about to have.
Undisputed WWE Universal Champion, and that's what matters.
Believing a word KO tells you is your first mistake. And more importantly, I've beaten your poster boy. Twice now.
Yeah, exactly.
Put him through a table. You mentioned a ladder earlier. Well, let's go there. At Clash at the Castle, you will put the WWE Universal title on the line against KO in a TLC match.
Sounds good.
I'm going to walk into that match with my title, and I'll walk out with it too.
No. You will not walk in with the WWE Universal title because it will be hanging high above the ring, right where it belongs, out of your reach.
You see these wings? You see these wings? They're not just for show, man. They're there for him to fly to the top of the mountain. Exactly, he's looking up there right now to the top. And that's exactly where he's gonna be at Clash of the Castle. He'll be at the top of the mountain. He will soar above all of Europe. Will the third time be the charm for Kevin Owens' fight when he challenges Shining Wizard for the Universal Championship in a TLC match at Clash of the Castle? I'm just gonna shot with you. A fluke and a banana peel do not require a charm. At Clash of the Castle, I expose Shining Wizard for the chump he is and walk out the first real undisputed WWE Universal Champion in the post-Roman era. Would you want to see booking like this after Roman loses his title, chat? I don't know if I would. I don't know if this is what I want to see.
Since the last time we spoke in an empty arena.
Indeed. That night I gave you an opportunity, and you took full advantage.
I guess. Most everyone in the WWE universe thinks Roman Reigns won me the title and KO only beat himself to get me there.
There will always be doubters. Every WWE Universal Champion will be in the shadow of Roman Reigns in one way or another. At least until someone can break the record with the title.
Well, that's pretty much an impossible goal.
Perhaps. My point is that you should take it a step at a time.
You gotta step forward. You gotta step forward with your left foot first.
And someone calls you the favorite.
I think that might be a ways off. I'll just have to keep winning.
A dominant victory over Owens tonight will go a long way towards answering that question in SmackDown's locker room. if not with its general manager.
Miz can be a real tosser.
Quite right. But it seems to me that he has also given you an opportunity to prove he and the doubters wrong.
That's what being a champion is, huh? Constant battle to prove you deserve your spot at the top of the card.
Indeed it is, my boy. Indeed it is.
My boy. You walk out of the ring with your left foot. You gotta take it one step at a time, and it's preferable that you take the first one with your left foot.
And is for the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Where does it come from, chat? Where did that come from? Here we go. In front of at least 50,000 fans. Shining Wizard fights to prove himself. To see if Kevin Owens can even stack up to the challenge that Cody Rhodes gave him at SummerSlam. It was something involving 2K15, I think. NL showed the video in their Rumblethon highlight video. I'm gonna... Okay, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Since day one, it has been about one thing. Fight, Owens, fight. And the time to fight is just moments away.
Gira was the straight shooter. Henry was the bean thrower. But Shining Wizard is the high flyer. Just cuts to Regal screaming, "You always saw him walking with your left foot." Shining Wizard. The bean thrower. Yeah, because he has the beans on his paws, dude. He's got the beans. Dude, his finisher was literally called the beans because he did a brain chop. It was just a hard bat. Why does it keep bringing up the natural disasters? I don't know. I mean, listen. He is easily the most successful member of the natural disasters up until this point by virtue of him just being able to do something, you know? There he is. He joined the Typhoon not realizing he was a mass murderer. Did he? Why are you rooting for this guy? He's a fucking piece of shit. You should be chanting for Shining Wizard. Shining Wizard. Oh. So chat. I think now's World Circuit. Either that or Major Circuit. Which one do we want to do? Which one do we want to do, chat? I'm leaning towards World Circuit given its pay-per-view and its title time. Right? But I'm also good with Major Circuit. Major. Okay.
Universal Championship literally hangs in the balance. The fresh champion looks to prove himself again against Kevin Owens. Well, not just Kevin Owens. It's Kevin Owens plus tables, ladders, and chairs. I'm no mathematician, but that adds up to a bad night for the champ.
Okay.
Men will leave with bruises tonight, but only one will be leaving with that championship. Enough already. Heads down, he has all the time he wants.
You want to use chairs? We'll use chairs.
He's making his intentions known to everyone in the arena. With a chair.
Ooh.
Let's just string of attacks right now. And we might be
someone's career.
Well, he's trying to end mine. Oh! He's trying to end Shining Wizards. He won't let that happen.
The challenger eating up some damage. And a carefully measured knee drop. Owens running into some trouble. Owens just can't find any breathing room. Perhaps looking for some kind of equalizer here.
Oh! Come on. Nice.
Run out of ringside and back to the mat. Had that well scouted.
Owens is going to look to press on the advantage.
Good chance for him to regain his wits. Standing Spanish fly. Are you kidding me? Incredible. Carefully placed stomp to the arm. A lot of momentum now on his side.
Yeah, he's found an effective form of attack.
Oh, okay. Nice fighting back.
Take any shortcut to bypass a clean competition.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a shortcut, Saxton.
Just one stunner.
Positioning the ladder in the center of the ring. I guess the only thing left to do.
No way.
And a heck of a DDT we just witnessed.
Nah. No. 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 I am not letting you have excuses this time, old man. You are not allowed to have excuses this time. How old is Shining Wizard? Younger than Kevin Owens. Evidently, as I just said. Right, ladder navigation. Is that in horse ears? We'll see. What is like the conversion rate between human and horse?
Gets inside the ring.
I'll meet you up there. Come on. Ugh. Let's go. Woo! Flipping all over the place. This Shining Wizard.
Oh man, he is fired up now.
Hits him with the counter.
I need to remember what the moves are that we gave him. Oh yeah, that's right. We gave him the fucking we gave him the fucking overdrive. I forgot. Honestly, I think flippy shit. Let's go. Exactly. The flippiest of shit.
Big back body drop. Well placed kick.
Don't do it.
Oh! Swing and a miss. I've actually never seen that before. I never even reversed that. I never even reversed it like that. I didn't even do anything. He literally just flipped right on over Shining Wizard. Holy shit, indeed. Holy shit. Holy shit. Holy shit. He so desperately overshot it. I didn't even put him through the table that time. He just did it to himself. Now that's storytelling, brother. That's heat, as one would say. Now that's heat. Exploder!
Suplex. The champ not in a great place. Yeah, as we're getting deeper in, that prize fighter instinct of Owens had to have kicked in there.
Oh no, we got another table. What? Okay.
Kick right to the back of the leg. And he throws the opposition back into the ring.
Fine. What the fuck you doing, KO? I'm not finished with you. Get down here.
These two going strike for strike, it seems. Nothing pretty here, just good old-fashioned.
Come on.
That was the question.
Shit. No. Oh shit. I forgot the buttons. The dupe. Alright, KO, I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna show you how we do a fucking table spot. I'm actually having a hard time right now, chat. I'm having a hard time. Whoa! Come on. Meet me out here. Or you cannot do that. Fine. That's not really strength. He had leverage. Come on! No! Now my hubris is going to be my undoing, chat. We're gonna do the most indie-rific shit of all time, chat.
He's outside the ring now. Hope he's got a plan.
We gonna do the most indie-rific shit of all time. Get up, Shining Wizard! Get over here. Get over here, you fuck.
pump handle. And neck breaker. Goodness. That was nasty. Looks like setting up for a suplex. Gonna finish things off.
Can I put you on? Can I put you on? Get the staple gun. No!
You can literally see his soul leave his body as he crashed through the table. I have no idea how he's going to manage to do it.
My God, he's broken in half. That's incredible.
This is just getting uncomfortable at this point. Good night. This is getting more and more alarming with each uninterrupted attack. This is getting scary now. No one can survive this much.
CTE Central. Oh shit. Ow.
Reverse it. Oh, it's finally created some more offense for himself. He could be turning his fortunes around. Coming back into the ring, back to the action.
No fucking shot. Is that actually what's gonna end the match?
Climbing the ladder at this point seems to be a bit ambitious. It's never too early to try. He's latching onto it. Huge spot in this match right here, guys. Boom. Crashing down hard. He's heading up top. Thinking big. Doing what you've got to do to eliminate the competition. But can they follow up on this momentum? Can they make the climb?
Hoop de Gras! Hoop de Gras number 3!
He has to fight through the exhaustion. The path to victory is in his grasp. Look at that snatch of...
I know.
Victory here, guys. I think it's going to happen. Was he in on it?
What the fuck?
He's not there yet. Looks to have a good grasp, but it's just not coming down. This has got to be frustrating.
Come on! Yeah! Let's go! Holy shit! That was awesome. Woo! He did it! My God, he did it! No excuses. You can't call that a fluke. That was decisive as it gets, King. And still, hashtag and still, the undisputed WWE Universal Champion, Shining Wizard. Wow, that was incredible. Genuinely, that was awesome. Loved that. Holy fuck. Oh my gosh. Cool. He came out the other end. Still, the undisputed champion. Not gonna lie, chat. You can have some pretty sick matches in this game. Let's see what else is here. Justine! What are you doing here? He reached the other side. The other side of the mountain. Tavish! These are all characters from the last game.
Hello, champ. I hope you'll forgive an old timer butting in your business. But it seems you've got yourself an Irish storm brewing. Sheamus has been telling everyone your reign is about finished. Now, my fighting days may be behind me, but there's no way I'd let a comment like that stand. I reckon you show that Irish warrior you're not close to finished in a finisher match.
Let's finish in a finisher match. Can I do a big running kick, chat? Can I do a big running kick? Well, first off, let's see what Justine's doing here.
Champ, apparently Tony D'Angelo thinks you cut in line at catering. Frankly, I hope you did. In my day, there were perks to being champion. Ugh, but this new generation of snowflakes thinks they've had their rights infringed upon if they've got to wait 2 minutes for a turkey burger. I'd love to see you take D'Angelo on and remind him of the hierarchy around here. Make it a chairs match, so he doesn't forget the champ doesn't just eat when he wants, he sits where he wants too.
His words and your chair in a chairs match. Chad, I think we should end this off with something fun, something stupid. Let's go ahead and do a chairs match. Imagine going from KO to Tony D'Angelo. That's a demotion, dude, of the highest caliber. But fuck it, we got time. Fuck it. A fighting champion takes on all comers. Whether they be Kevin Owens or Tony D'Angelo. The dawn is about to be done. Do not lose this.
It is time for the dawn to make that money.
Who the hell is this, chat?
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring.
Don't you know, Steph? It's current NXT Tag Team Champion Tony D'Angelo.
Weighing in at 240 pounds, Tony D'Angelo.
I don't know, man. This right here isn't the Tony that I know.
American wrestler now taking over.
The Tony that I know is a black and white film superstar.
Background in waste management.
And the other one posts a little too much on Twitter. This is a 90s ass gimmick. This is a bit like Brooklyn Brawler-ish, isn't it? Perhaps our future NXT champion if he can beat Ilya Dragunov. Yeah. Our future NXT champion. In hell! My dude, imagine. And this will be like something that like old viewers will understand. Imagine Gira versus Ilya Dragunov. That shit would feed families. That shit would feed families. The welts on the chest, the submissions, the CTE, the broken bones. It'd be everything. You put two guys in there who don't know wrestling is fake, and then they just go hell for leather. I don't know, chat. I don't think I'm ever gonna get tired of seeing this entrance. Look at this belt. It's so big on him. What, like, episode of SmackDown is this, chat? This is for sure,
It's almost time for a 120 seconds minute Cheetos break, my dudes.
What the hell? Streamer bot just crashed. Give me a second. God, it's so long.
Stumbled into such good luck and the WWE Universal Championship. Let's hope he doesn't stumble down the ramp while he's at it.
His title win might have been fortunate, but the longer he holds it, the more you have to admit he's a worthy champ.
I don't have to admit anything.
This for sure is like the show coming off of Clash of the Castle. They're giving him a fun match against a lower mid-card guy. There's not gonna be much on the line here.
As WWE
But
Universal Champion, he's supposed to set the example.
But just like everyone on the indies that gave him a chance, he's willing to give the lower mid-card guys a chance too to show what they're about. D'Angelo has ruined the tech, I see. He's too powerful.
Ori, honor, and the best piece of prime rib. Placed into the corner. He skirts around.
What the fuck am I hearing? Neckbreaker! Woo! 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 face move!
It's break time. Where the heck's the Cheetos, my dudes?
Rob was on into this. So this is a chairs match, right? Well, we gotta get under the ring and we gotta find ourselves a chair. So while we do this, chat, be thinking about who we wanna raid, all right?
Clubbing strike breaks up that move. Now Tony is getting beaten down. Tony's on the wrong side of every exchange. Great trouble here. Can he get it full?
Oh no, not the abdominal stretch.
It's locked in. This is a great way to wear down your opponent. Will this? We're going to find an escape from the abdominal stretch. Uh-oh, found it.
Not the abdominal stretch. The best thing about Tony D'Angelo's thing is finisher, the forget about it. Oh my god. It really is a fucking like new generation type beat going on with them, eh? Hold on, I wanna figure out his moves here. Alright, Tequila. His submission stat is so shit. A lot of the women in WWE are flashing back to Divas, beautiful people. So I guess it's just wrestling gimmicks nostalgia. Oh man, we're entering like that era of wrestling. Like everything is just nostalgia bait now. Are we at that point in wrestling? I mean, I know that we've been at that point in wrestling for like at least a few years.
Nom nom nom.
But, like,
Oh, excuse me, we're back, my dudes.
Hey, welcome back to Raw. I'm not gonna give you that much, kid.
He's returning fire.
Hold on. Let's do the Bucko Buster.
And he sends him into the corner.
What the?
Byron, you any good at geography?
Wait! The Sonic Ray Boom! The Sonic Ray Boom! Let's go, dude.
He has been here before and he knows what he needs to do. Bam!
We defos aren't going full on diva, but there's defo bits of it. Oh yeah, 100%. It seems that way anyways. Bro, I'm gonna need you to use that chair a little more. That's like in the script. So I'm gonna need you to use that just a little more. And if you won't, I will. This is a chairs match. We gotta use the gimmick. No fucking shot. No, sold it.
Pulled in for a belly to belly. He could pin his opponent right here. It's over.
That's way too close for Tony fucking D'Angelo. I was actually going to fucking scream if I ended up losing to that.
Waistlock applied, but their opponent manages to fight out with a series of punches. With the point of the elbow.
He's giving a lot to Tony D'Angelo, dude. What a fucking trooper for the business.
And this one might be headed ringside. He grabbed the chair.
Come on. Shining Wizard giving back, building new stars. I mean, that's what you gotta do when you're a champion. You know? You gotta build those stars. Gotta build the stars of the future, you could say. Wow. Like giving those unprotected airs headshots. Okay. Alright, we need the Bucko Buster, chat. Where's the Bucko Buster? Oh, wait. Hold on, I know what we're doing wrong. Sonic Rainbow! 1, 2.
Part of me thought that was it, Cole.
Nah. Nah, dude.
A direct headshot. Just sickening. And Tony is getting beaten down. Tony's on the wrong side of every exchange. And these exchanges are smelling nothing but trouble. Nice calf kick. Great.
I'm gonna go ahead and do something here, chat. All the silver cutting in line and catering, by the way. What an absolute Chad. No shot. No fucking shot, chat. Nah. Shining Wizard sells like a champ. Roman Reigns could never. While you're over there in Hollywood, I'm over here elevating this belt to new heights.
There he goes, right into the corner.
Wait. Oh. Bucko Buster! Whoa, hello.
As their opponent
Bucko Buster.
over into a suplex. He leaves the ring and there's no countouts in this one. He's looking for something. This could get dangerous. A steel chair? Something we all know could be.
Wow. Holy shit. Ooh, off the graw. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. What a match on Friday Night SmackDown. What a finish. I know. That was sick.
The undisputed WWE Universal Champion with another victory.
Will you listen to the ovation from these ham and eggers? How can they love this guy so much?
Because he's awesome.
When you're as powerful as Tony D is, everyone's out to get you.
Cody could never take him to these heights. He's creating his own story. While you're on Raw trying to reach for an ending that you'll never get, my story is being written every single week. The end of the story happens when I say it happens. Until then, everyone else, including old Tony D'Angelo over here, just became another chapter in the book of Shining Wizard. All right. Well, chat, we're going to go ahead and we're going to raid out to someone here in a second. Thank you all to everyone for fucking hanging out, like, all night tonight, by the way. Again, it's been incredible lately. Just the astronomical support that we've been getting over here on the channel has been astonishing. It's been astonishing, honestly. And I'm happy that y'all are enjoying the content. I'm happy that y'all are enjoying the streams. We'll be back here tomorrow with Pikmin 2, with my friend Toad. Let me go ahead and give this guy his attribute points first, and then we'll be on our way. I think the aerial offense is what we need here. Thanks for the stream. Thank you for being here. Genuinely. Thank you to everyone for being here. This year's been incredible so far, even though I haven't streamed as much as I did last year. I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't even get to talk about everything I wanted to this stream. After the Dark Horse champions scored another win over KO in a brutal TLC match, what does The Miz have in store for Shining Wizard next? The implication that I supported Fight Owens Fight in any way is an insult to my impartiality as SmackDown GM. I only want what's best for my show. Miz, you literally said you can't stand Shining Wizard, and hey, KO, let's make you champion. This is all your fault. Is this what you had in mind for your brand's image at Mike the Miz? Well, it doesn't matter, because we all know that the best champion came out in the end, and that is Shining Wizard. Strong showing. I'll be honest, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I'm sure Tony, D'Angelo, and everyone else got the message. Champs get their own line here. I mean, listen, man. I didn't do it to please you. I did it to get on TV. And to put Tony D'Angelo over. Did you see? Did you see how he almost killed me? I made him look strong. He's got a US title match next week after that. The Miz was so impressed. He saw how he almost kicked my ass, and now he's getting a US title shot next week on SmackDown. Already, Shining Wizard is making stars. He's making legends. All right. Well, next time we're going to do some more side stuff, chat. This has been so fun. I've been having a lot of fun with this. I've been having so much fun. But unfortunately, our time here has come to an end. I got a lot of people to thank for fucking raids when I'm done. I got a lot of people to thank. But for now, how about some more wrestling stuff? I'm gonna send you over to the Ariana here. Once he gets back from concussion protocol from those chair shots, D'Angelo goes crazy. He will. Don't worry. He didn't bleed. They were only love taps. He's got a bright future ahead of him, all thanks to Shining Wizard. Now then, I'm gonna send you over to good old Ari over here. Again, everyone, this has been incredible. He's gonna be Tony to Devilo. Tony to Devilo is actually insane. That's incredible. I can be your D'Angelo or your Devilo. No. I can be your D'Angelo or your Devilo. That's the raid message. That's the raid message, Chad. It's right there. I'm pinning that. I'm gonna be your the Devilo or your D'Angelo. I'll see you all tomorrow for Pikmin 2, I mean. For Pikmin 2. I appreciate it, everyone. I'll see y'all later. If you haven't done so already, join the Discord. It's right up there. Follow me on my socials. They're in my card there as well. And yeah, I will see you all tomorrow night. Bye.